Welcome in, chat. We'll be starting up in just a few minutes. I am just putting everyone's cameras into their overlays. This should be a lot faster next week, chat, and the weeks after. It's the first time I'm messing around with the overlay, so I'm just putting all the cameras in. Should only take a few more minutes, just gotta make sure it all works. And we'll introduce you to the first episode. Almost down there. 3 more camps to go. 2-minute warning, chat. We'll be up in a sec. For you, chat, before I mute for the players, welcome out. Thank you so much for all those subscribers that just came in, by the way. I really do appreciate it. Thanks so much for that. It's extremely kind. I turn off chat during D&D so I don't get distracted because I have a small brain. But thank you so much, everyone who's come in and dropped some subs. It's very, very kind of you. Give all the love to the players. I cannot wait to begin this. So let the players know. Also, just before we do that, let me just say thank you so much to Train Noir for making this theme. Made it in under a week. I realized that our trailer theme just wouldn't fit, so I was like, hey, do you want to make a theme? And just under a week, he managed to rustle this up together, and it's phenomenal. So big shout out to Train Noir. Thank you so much for that, pal. All right. Okay. Let me go ahead and unmute. And here, and then swing all the way on this screen. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How are we?
Look how pretty it is.
I know. Just edit a tiny bit.
Big pog.
I am so excited. We managed to get this going after a year of prep. And first, yeah, it's a long time coming.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Nope.
Sorry. I just noticed my camera's out of whack. Okay, cool. I think we should start off by saying welcome to everyone here, but also just to introduce everyone in the cast. So, swinging round clockwise, let's go ahead and start with Mark. Go ahead and give yourself a little shout out.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mark Humes. I am also known as Sherlock Humes online. I'm the Dungeon Master for another D&D show called High Rollers D&D. We're a bunch of UK folks. We stream every Sunday on High Rollers D&D. We have a podcast, YouTube, all of that good stuff. You may also know me as Kaliana in Season 2 of Critical Role, as well as appearing for things like Knights of Evening Star, D&D Live, and one of the authors in Candlekeep Mysteries as well. And D&D is my whole thing. I love it lots. Joe and I have been talking about this campaign for a very long time. So I'm very excited to be here and playing with some awesome people.
Mm-hmm.
Profesh.
OG.
Oh, you guys, I'm such a letdown after Mark. I'm so sorry.
No,
and I don't really do stuff. I just kind of show up and play D&D. So
yeah, sure.
I don't run I'm in Godforged on Sundays, where you may have seen me, and I do a lot of old person hot takes on Twitter. So I live tweet real old reality shows that we're just starting to watch now, and real old movies that I've never seen. So if you like that kind of stuff, I am your lady.
Good stuff.
That's all I got.
Tomato.
It's a vibe.
How many times are we going to do this song and dance?
For anyone who's new here, every time I ask Tomato to shout himself out, he gives me the weakest shout out I've ever heard.
How many times
In fact,
are we going to have
last time he
do
walked
this?
away from his computer. He just
That
walked
was
away.
genius. That was a good one.
I can't get this man to promote himself ever.
The problem is, I thought about doing a really detailed shout out this time, but I didn't have enough time to prep it because.
So for next week, we should be ready.
Yeah.
I can't do 2 separate shows back to back with like a day in between of the same bit. I just don't have that much energy in me.
Can we write you your own intro and you have to read it
That's
without
amazing.
knowing?
I'll read anything people give me. I'm just
Oh, this is a
We're gonna
challenge
put with
now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can check Tomato out on his twitch.tv/tomato. Every week, man. Brizzy.
Hi, I'm Brizzy Voices. I'm a voice actor and a YouTuber where I also do voice things and impressions and stuff. I've been on a few D&D shows in the day. Drama and Defiance Wrestling, Dark and Dicey, I don't know. And currently, Cast Party is a podcast about like real world Hollywood actors and filmmakers who are transported into D&D. And so that's the only one other than this that's currently going. And on my off time, I DM Curse of Strahd.
Nice.
In the privacy of my own home.
Sweet. And last but certainly not least, Gabe.
I don't know. Hi.
No.
All these people do a bunch of
This guy.
Fine. Hi, I'm Gabe Hicks. Cosplay, voiceover, game design for digital and video games. I worked on Critical Role Ugatoa. I've written for Pathfinder Starfinder. I was a DM on Dimension 20 for Shriek Week, where I made a game system for the season. So that was fun. And creative producer, I don't know, Roll20. I do a lot of stuff sometimes.
Very busy. Well, thank you everyone for coming out. If you don't know who I am, by the way, it's your first time on the channel. I'm Joe Fudge. I DM. That's pretty much all I do. I play some D&D and I DM on Sundays. I've got a long-going show right now. We're 2 years. We just celebrated our 2-year last week. And it's taken me about a year to put together another campaign. But finally, we've done it. And it's here, so welcome out. This is a long-form campaign. This will go on as long as the story takes, or as long as the players want to keep playing. Be it a year, 2 year, 3 year, we'll see. However the story goes. So,
until all the gods are dead, is what you're saying.
How many gods are there? That's
I set a random countdown on my phone, Joe, without telling you. And at that alarm goes off, I'm done.
Could be at any point.
At any point.
my character just keels over dead, and Tomato just walks off the screen.
Just before we get into everything, let me just first again say thank you to Trey Noir, who put together the theme you're hearing in the background. That'll be our intro theme every week. Also, Hopeless Bay for the overlay. And in the intro, you saw all of different art and whatnot. I'll be updating that. If you draw any fan art, be sure to post it in the Discord, and I'll be slapping you in the intro reel. As long as you give permission to do so, just give your consent to put your art there, and in any break screen as well, you'll see it pop up as well. Thank you to all of the artists that helped put this thing together. Also, some of the music you'll be hearing is from various game studios I've got permission from, along with a few patrons such as Music D20 and Michael Ghelfi Studios. Definitely check them out. They offer their music out for all different TTRPG stuff. Some other information about the show. We call out our roles. You won't see the roles on the screen, so you'll hear all the roles read out. This helps people who are just listening to the show, and also kind of gives that, for me, it's just kind of that table feeling to hear someone shout out Nat 20 or facepalm for 20 seconds because they get a Nat 1. And this is a 3-hour show. We have a cutoff point in 2 hours and 40 minutes from now. So it'll be a 3-hour show every week, and it'll be up on YouTube and everything like that afterwards as well. Also, one final point. It is a very homebrewed world. It's a world I've made gruesomely over the last year or so, and we'll be putting it together as we go. And so there'll be a lot of rules changes here and there. Most of the rules are going to be the same 5th edition rule set, but there'll be some extras here and there, and we'll be tweaking some stuff. So don't worry about rules lawyering too much. Just sit back, relax, enjoy, and come on the ride with us. But
Hell yeah.
that is everything. And if you guys have anything you want to shout out, do y'all want to play some D&D?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I've had dreams about this,
I'm already here.
which I was kidding. I've had dreams about this campaign.
Yeah. That was actually part of the marketing scheme. I made sure someone put dreams in your head.
Nice.
Yeah.
That worked really
It's
well.
pathetic.
Yeah, weird, Joe.
Sorry, it was an
It
outsourced
works.
company.
That Dionysus man, he'll get to you.
yeah. So,
He's first on the list.
also to the players, I adjust the sound on my end on Roll20, so if it gets too loud on your end, just turn it down in game. It's all good for me.
Beautiful.
So, in a glade, where trees grow so tall their vegetation is only visible when you tilt your head all the way back, where the grass is so fine to the point where it looks more akin to gold hair strands drifting in the wind, a figure made mostly of vines and bark, with dotted pieces of flesh throughout, a beard jagged, heading down into weaving with the roots, walks towards a pond in the center. It has something under its arm. Once there, it places down the object it carries beneath it. Staring down at the crystal clear water, watching the fish explore the weeds of their tranquil home, is a severed head, covered in runic tattoos that tell 1,000 tales upon it. With one single eye, it peers across the water before finally speaking. I imagine you're expecting a story. I have so many of those. Ones where gods attempt to drink the sea in a single gulp. Others where a group of mortals are turned into pigs by a rather ravenous and dangerous witch. But these stories are told so often. How about instead, the best story I have? And I might be a little biased because I'm in it. An epic tale where the fates of 3 worlds are on the line. One of love, tragedy, pain, and most importantly, heroics. A tale so bold that I might not even be alive by the end of it. Let me first introduce Asgard, the home of the Aesir gods, and the Vanir, though it is not their original home. A story for another time. Upon a throne made of light, the father of the gods, Odin, rests, watching over the world with his one all-seeing eye. Accompanying it are 8 other realms, held together by the world tree Yggdrasil. Midgard being the most relevant to our story, as it is where mortals reside. Where jarls and rulers fight over land, where the landscape is known to be so harsh that all must know how to fight and fend for themselves. On the other side, the mortal realm of Messelgaia. It resides beneath the greatest mountain, far greater than any we have in Jotunheim, and atop it, a temple known as Olympus. The Olympian gods are ruled over by one named Zeus. In the mortal land of Messelgaia, kings and queens squabble over politics spanning generations. Heroes wake each morning to undertake Odysseys, as if theatre for the gods, where words can be just as deadly as the dagger. To begin a story, it is good manners to begin with the year, but in a story spanning 3 worlds, that becomes a little tricky. If you were to ask the Mesogaians, the scholars of Athra place the year at 946, dated since the fall of the last Titan. If you were to ask those of Athela, and we'll get onto them eventually, they wouldn't know. Their dark age comes with a lack of accounting for the passing seasons. But if you were to ask those of Midgard, it would be the year 20. 20 years since the Olympians last visited Asgard. 20 years since Zeus poisoned the World Tree. 20 years since Odin declared war on Olympus and opened a breach between the 2 worlds, calling for mortals and gods alike to take up arms against them. 20 years since the devastating few battles took place, and 20 years since both sides of the war realized their worlds were suffering from great scars and tears from the magic binding the 2 together. 20 years since they closed the first breach. As the years went by, the gods of both sides realized 2 things. First, a war would require more espionage, more plotting, more patience. They were good at that. And secondly, they would need to find a realm to bridge theirs together. 4 years ago, Athela was found. Located in between the 2 realms, the land of Athela is one of untapped magic. Their gods are sleeping or dead, and the nations of the realms struggle with a power vacuum over the disappearance of their prophesized king. Over the past 4 years, the gods have plotted in secret, Mortals have travelled and discovered one another's land. Old wounds have opened, and feuds are beginning once more. Yet our tale begins far smaller. Those it centers on have lived lives for years prior to this moment, but we begin at the time where their paths first intersect. In southern Midgard, in a great plain surrounded by the mountain range known as Ymir's Belt, lies a town named Helot, the last town before the grey godless lands. Beneath a tall hill, many homes and buildings are built in a spiral formation, wrapping around the bottom of the hill and continuing the pattern outward like a seashell. This is where the majority of the town lives. On top of the hill itself, though, resides the greatest mead hall ever built. Capable of hosting well over 1,000 guests, Helot is comparable to a fortress, if not for its interior. Within, halls upon halls of tables, mead, shops, and song. The elderly King Hrothgar sits upon his throne and welcomes all, no matter what world you come from. Within his halls you'll find traders, warriors, adventurers, those whose goodwill, and those without it. However, that is not the reason that so many have journeyed there now. King Hrothgar has spread a promise. An Asgardian and an Olympian will be honoring this hall and sharing a drink this very night. We begin our story along a road just beyond the great gates of Gastronir that lead into the plain, an hour or so out from Helot. Behind a convoy of other travelers, two soon-to-be very close friends walk beside one another. You feel the breeze on your face. It's cooling from the summer temperatures that are beating down on you. Along this road are many travelers. Some who are all the way from Essegar, some that have come from Athela. Mostly those are Midgard. A pair walks beside one another. Brizzy and Chrissy. Would you guys like to describe your characters?
Sure. Alphabetically,
Hey.
Brizzy, you go first.
All right. Well, she is a lanky, rail thin, sickly white noodle of a human. Only slightly bulked up by heavy black leathers and armor crafted mostly out of bones woven together. There's wild, curly, tangled fire orange hair just flopping about her face and down her back, and she has a streak of black charcoal across her eyes and Norse runes written down her cheeks and up her forehead. And on the top of her head is the top half of what I would describe as an antelope-ish skull with curly horns. And a heavy-looking, empty iron torch hangs at her waist, and strapped to her back is a round black shield with an intricate maze-like gold design, and the same runes on her face are encircling the edge of the shield.
Awesome.
Fucking cool.
And beside her,
Yeah, so walking next to this lanky lady, your eyes would slip past her at first and look at her companion with her fiery red hair. Everything about her seems almost exactly, perfectly average. Not really worth a second look. Average height, which for Chad I would like to point out in this area is 5'9", and average build. She's got she's dressed in like grays and kind of muted blues. She had a cloak that's gray, looks really just kind of serviceable and like really boring. And as she moves, you might think you caught a glimpse of teal, but you're not sure because it was pretty quick. She's fair-skinned, tending towards pretty pale. Her hair is black at the roots, and then it fades to silver. She's got shaved, it's shaved on the sides, and she has a braid at each temple, coming back to like a short little ponytail. So like if her hair came down, it'd be like maybe like a chin bob. Blue eyes, pretty smudged black eyeliner, not a strip of charcoal like her friend, but it kind of looks maybe like slept in. And as she kind of turns her head around to see what's going on, you notice that she's got a scar on her neck here and then a scar here. She's just carrying a plain bow. She's got a dagger strapped to one of her shins, another dagger strapped to her thigh, but you just look really plain. Just, meh. Yeah.
To set the scene for you both, the way towards Herat, this kind of open plain area, despite the mountains surrounding it on all sides, it does span a few miles in diameter, kind of miles of grassland. Outside of the central hill, right in the middle of the entire plain, it's mostly pretty flat. A lot of farmland, luscious greens, bushes, all manner of flowers growing from the summer and the late summer. Some starting to wilt as autumn is beginning to come, but it is a kind of a beautiful landscape. You're on a dirt-tracked road that leads barely winding, mostly just a straight road, comfortable to walk on, clearly being trodden on quite a bit, leading towards Herat. Behind you, you've just entered through massive gates, 100-foot tall, right beside the mountains of both sides. But the way the gates are built is actually to put the barrier on this side. So it's almost like you've gone through the gates to the more dangerous area, coming through from a luscious swamp known as the Fen. On this road ahead of you, you'll see various kind of parties and caravans of people, a good few hundred kind of line up, some waiting outside the town, well up ahead, further down the road. But some just a few meters ahead of you, some 50 meters back. This is kind of a long, just passing grouping of people heading towards Herat for the festival. You stand there beside each other. What do you do? Who wants to say the first words of the campaign?
I want to see if anyone's looking at us.
Okay, go ahead and roll a perception check.
First roll.
First roll.
First roll.
This is going to give you an idea, Breezy, this is going to set the tone for the rest of the
Cool,
campaign.
cool. Dirty 20.
What?
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. So, you would get, for the most part, a lot of the people from here are kind of focusing on their own just journey going forward. You would notice that of the few mess of guys you'd see in the crowd, and you can recognize them by their kind of cuirasses, open-legged wear, kind of built for summer. Some of them wearing armor, some of them in kind of toga-like formation, but their attire is kind of built for travel, so they've got a lot of their satchels and kind of packs on to kind of cover up some of it, but definitely open for summer wear. Not your usual wear you'd find in Midgard, because even during the summer, most people in Midgard like to wear furs, they like to wear layers. Some of them are eyeing you up as a pair. You'd see ahead of you, there's one kind of a bald, tattooed man. His earlobes have been kind of stretched heavily, and in the earlobes themselves, they've got big mirrors. He's got tattoos across his head of like runes and whatnot. And he's going down from just ahead of you, passing to each traveler that's going by, and you can see he's kind of pulling things out of his pack, trying to sell them. And he finally kind of eyes on you, and you can see he's probably a good 2-minute walk away from you, but a big grin kind of comes up in his face from far, and he starts making his way towards you two.
Is someone's going to try to sell us something?
Can we just keep going?
I'm curious. He has mirrors on his ears.
Maybe I can see what I...
You look great, don't worry about it.
Okay. Let's stop.
See him, he starts kind of doing a light jog towards you. He's wearing kind of ragged clothing. Not kind of, it's not unfashionable. It's quite flamboyant clothing, some oranges and some blues in it. These kind of ragged clothing, clearly from Midgard, but dirty. Clearly he doesn't wash too often, but he gets a little bit closer and kind of shouts out to you like, "Oh, hello! Hello, my friends! Hello! Welcome to Helot. How do you do?"
We do well.
He walks backwards
Yeah.
in front of you as you guys are walking. "Ah,
Good.
good. Well,
You?
I'm fantastic. I hope with you bring lots of coin, right? You'll bring coin?
Why?
Not the most.
Oh, well, don't worry. Some things I sell are affordable. I am Retzi. A pleasure to meet you. Son of a gun.
Retchy.
Retzi. Aye.
Ritzy.
Please.
Son of a what?
Son of a gun. My father, he was a warrior. I am a salesman. We deal in different things. I deal in seeds. Seeds from all over.
Seeds.
That's right. I've bought the rarest seeds there are. I got seeds all the way from Mesogyra, the southern reaches of it. I've got blossoming trees that you've never seen here. You couldn't grow them if you tried. But these seeds are special. These seeds are better. I can sell you these seeds for a cheap price.
Well, we don't really have a home base, so seeds would not be much
That's
use
right.
to us.
I have
And
flower
these
pots.
seeds.
You can
A
bring them with
pot.
you. Aye, why not? It cheers
You
up
want to
the
sell us
traveler.
a seed and a pot.
Seed and pot. I can also sell you some dirt, but I do not earn it.
How do we know what these seeds are? What if you sell us nothing?
Etsy would never do that. I would always. I believe in integrity in the salesman business. These seeds are from all over. I've met. Heritage is a great source of income from merchants from all the lands. I give you my word. If they do not grow into a beautiful tree, return back to Helad. Cigar Redsi, I'll give you a refund.
What do they do? Do they do anything special? Or they're just pretty flowers.
Some will grow to give the greatest fruits. Some said to be aphrodisiacs. Done in Mesogyre. They grow a lot of these. You grow those ones in a flower pot. Perhaps maybe you return home and your loved ones thank you for it. They grow fast too. Within weeks, I assure you.
So we get a seed. We get the pot.
You get the pot,
We
you get the
leave.
seed.
We grow.
Well, you get the leaf later.
if it
This is a little
doesn't,
joke.
if it doesn't grow, we travel all the way back to yell at you and get a refund.
Well, the yelling could be optional, but the refund nonetheless. Perhaps you want a tree closer to home. I don't know. I've got all seeds.
What are the cheapest seeds you have?
The cheapest seeds I have are oak. They are very simple.
To grow an oak tree.
Acorns, why not? I've got acorns.
You're selling
tree.
acorns?
Some people have never
They're
seen an
just-
oak.
Around.
But Mesogaians, they come by, they'll see the tree, they don't know how to grow.
Okay, what do you have that is not oak?
Not from Midgard, or?
Yeah, not from here. What do you have that is not from here?
An Avron blossom. How
A
about
what?
that? An Avron blossom. It grows at the highest peaks in Mesogyre, on the northern mountains. It is said that a single leaf from it, if pocketed, can allow you to fly for 1 minute.
It is said. You
says
don't say it.
Who says it?
People who have come by Helot and sold the seeds to me, I've seen them fly. I
Have
saw
you-
them fly over top.
You saw them. You grew. What is it called?
Avron blossom?
Ephron. Ephron blossom. You grew. Have you flown?
I don't grow the seeds myself. I'm not a gardener.
No.
I just procure them.
You don't sample the
I do not sample the product. No.
No. Okay.
Do you think an innkeeper drinks all his own ale? Well,
I think you drink some of it.
every innkeeper. Do you think they drink all
yes.
their ale?
So, what?
You smiled when you saw us. There's so many people here. Do we look like gardeners? You. You thought we would be an easy sell?
Not an easy sell. No. I sold two sophisticated travelers that I thought might appreciate the fine arts in life.
The fine arts of
Are you going to buy seeds or
gardening.
not?
Of life.
How much is this flying seed?
The flying seed? Oh, I mean, it lets you fly. I'd say a good 25 silver for one seed. The far-flown flower pot for
fly.
30 silver.
No. No. I start walking away.
Is what I would say if you were not my favorite customers of the day. But you are 10 silver.
This man.
I like this guy.
10 silver?
No.
Only waste of time. And he turns around, he walks straight past you, and then smiles at the group right behind you and leaves you to your own business. Heading off to do
Shake
the
my
same
head.
spiel.
I'm just laughing to myself, like further down the line.
You fly with the flower.
Fly with a flower that he's never tried.
You put it in your pocket. Is that what he was saying? You pick a leaf,
Yeah.
put it in your pocket, and you fly. That is dumb.
So simple.
That is dumb.
Yeah. If he were a gardener, if he could sell them for much more, because he could just pull out his sample and
Yes.
show.
He needs to put it in a pot himself.
Yes,
Carry
yes.
it around. Give someone a leaf. Let them fly for a minute. Then I would
Yes.
buy it.
Then pay 100 gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was. He's
He's a
bad.
fool. Yeah.
Yeah. Not good.
Hilarious, though.
So, yeah. Who do you think is going to be here?
I don't know. Are they? Is it supposed? It's supposed to be friendly.
Nobody's friendly.
Has there been
One.
any?
From each. Yes.
One
that's what I
from
said.
each.
One from each. Like which ones?
Is it a business deal? Is it a date? Is it?
If we are traveling to a giant mead hall to see two gods have a date, I will turn around and walk out.
But it'll be
see
so
them date.
interesting. It'll probably end with someone dying.
Yeah. I can change the course of this river. Oh, I can turn into a swan. Oh, I can.
The line you're walking towards,
Either way, it should be fascinating.
you see is like the kind of line starts slowing down. You realize it's kind of a congestion of people trying to get into the town now. And they start to kind of like process them, make sure that people are coming in and they're not sneaking anything dangerous. You kind of find yourselves at the back of the queue. You realize it's going to take you the good part of like half an hour before you get through as they go through merchant wares and whatnot. Merchants are sent off to various stables to stable their horses or the ox or anything they rode here, or drag their wares. Towards the front of the line, a guard steps out, looks up and down at Mr. Guyan, looks at their kind of togaed wear and goes, and says to you, Mark, "Oh, are you bringing anything dangerous here? Would you like to describe yourself?"
Yeah, so up ahead in the line, you see a 5'7", 5'8", Mesogaian. She has the look of somebody who travels well, not necessarily muscular, but that has that lithe athleticism to them, right? Like a dancer or a gymnast kind of thing. So taut muscles, well traveled, but still slender and quite slim. Dressed in a Mesogaian toga of white with a purple scarf kind of draped around her neck and trailing a little bit down her back. Brown leather sandals and what appear to be sort of like brown leather gloves, but more like straps of leather kind of tied around her fingers, and then a sort of flat area of leather at the back of the hand. She literally has a backpack with a few things. And when the guards...
Oh,
No!
We lose Mark. No, midway through his
There we go.
description. You'll see the cameras get bounced around chat. Don't worry, it'll fix itself in a sec.
Discord just decided
That's
to.
okay. I think mine's done that before.
You said the gods, and they were like, no.
You did.
Do you want to fix anything, Joe? Before
No.
we continue?
It
I don't know.
should be good. It's probably
Should
just a
pop
random
back in.
disconnect.
Okay.
Yeah, if you just put your camera back on, it should pop you back over towards it.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's not. I don't know.
There you go.
I don't ask me.
That's okay.
Yeah. So I don't know how much of where did it cut off? I don't know where it cut me off there at the end of the description or.
You were talking about your
It literally cut off
the
immediately,
wraps
so-
and-
gauntlets.
The hand
Yeah.
wraps, yeah.
Okay. So at the hand wraps, and yeah, she sort of has a backpack with just a few traveling pieces of gear, and she'll look at this Midgardian, I guess.
Midgardian,
would
yeah. That's
Midgardian.
one we'll go with.
And she will gesture at herself, or I will gesture at myself and say, "No, I suppose I don't have anything that you don't see. Just knowledge. If you count that dangerous." And she smiles. I smile.
You kind of eye up and down. Why have you traveled from Mesogaya?
I've heard so much about the great meat hall of Herod. I want to learn. I want to see, taste what beautiful drinks that you have here and experience it. My understanding was Herod is open to all peoples. That is what your king said, no? That it is a place of shared experiences.
That is what the king says.
Oh, good. Then I am pleased to hear it.
Very well. Then go on inside and enjoy Herod. And you
Thank
draw
you.
more than your knowledge. You'll be dealing with us.
My knowledge will be fine. Thank you. Anyhow.
Steps
I
aside
step
and
inside.
watches the whole time, yeah. You'd head in through the kind of town area, seeing kind of kids playing in the street, watching, almost like a procession, this kind of festival. A lot of the kids are kind of sat to the side and ogling at every kind of different person that comes in, all the merchants from all over. You can kind of see it's the most exciting kind of time for them. Families just waiting by, some people tending their front gardens and whatnot, watching as everyone kind of passes by. And you walk your way up, all the way around the town, weaving up the hill, and getting to the front gates of Herod itself, the mead hall. The mead hall, as you get closer and as you wrap around the hill, you realize this thing is several stories high, made of 20 different halls, equally as big as any mead hall you would see. They have hundreds of rooms just built, like, consistently just bringing in more conversions and more additions to this mead hall. You can see some of the wood is even different from the original wood they've made. Not the prettiest of buildings, but one which is just designed to just add more and more and more. But it always has one front entrance, a great double door, where on the front, the wood has been weaved into kind of a pattern and kind of cut into a pattern where it's two hands clasping one another in like a grasp of friendship. It's open ajar, and you see the people ahead of you knock it open even more. And you enter into a massive hall filled with drinking, filled with laughter, filled with people from all, mostly Midgard and Mesogaya, but all three worlds. You hear in one of the halls to your side drinking games happening, people shouting and screaming and laughing. You hear in other ones quieter discussions, card games being played. Others, people are playing dice. Some where people are playing music, you can hear heavy music. Some with closed doors, you'd hear some people having much more enjoyable experiences. You'd hear like the various kind of tavern bar areas. And you just see hundreds of people mingling and moving in and out. As you go in, one of the first things you'd hear, coming from one of the drinking halls nearby, and your ears would probably prick up to hear this, is someone going, "I don't give a shit what the king says. If you traveled all the way here and you're telling me you did it just because you wanted to see the sights, How can I trust you, Mr. Guy? You see this kind of 7 foot tall, just bulky man stood there, braided hair going back down to his shoulders. A couple of people nearby him, a drink clearly in his hand. He steps to one side just to scratch his back. And standing in front of him, the person he was talking to. Gabe, would you like to describe your character?
Gladly. Draven is a relatively tall figure leaning towards 6 foot and is in large armor that looks to be of layered blues, blacks, and golds. There is a braided, sort of gilded headpiece and long locks coming down the side with soft skin that almost looks like it is the color of an oak that had wine dripped on top to have a nice red tone, and eyes as yellow as the harvest moon. And he smiles. You know, I can tell you don't give a shit because I can see it in your face. You should go let that out.
You see a couple of his friends nearby laugh, and he kind of glares and then just go quiet. You're lucky there's a piece in these halls, because there's the only thing I don't like more than Mr. Guidance, and that's a smart mouth.
Well, then let's go outside, dumb mouth.
Roll an intimidation check.
Gladly. Oh, I wanted to punch him.
I mean,
17.
I love a character's first role being intimidation.
Uh-huh.
That's a 17.
Nice. What's to stop me just breaking you in here? No one really cares about Mr. Guidance.
You know, I do love mead, but I'm thirsty for something else. And he opens his mouth and flashes 2 sharp fangs.
He takes a step back. And you see his 2 friends kind of step back as well now. Oh, what are you?
Like I said, we can go outside, and I'll give you a lesson. Maybe you'll have a smart mouth too. Otherwise, move. You're making my drink smell.
Let's get out of here, lads. There's better drinks in the other hall anyway. He kind of grumbles under his mouth and kind of walks away from you. One of the friends kind of gets up. He looks at you and just rushes off after him, running after him, leaving you there.
I love this place.
You see Juno just sort of leaning against a post and just, sort of gently clapping in the other Mesogaian's direction for handling this oaf in such a manner, just a very gentle sort of...
No, was he yours?
Oh, no. But like you said, what was it? He said something along the lines of, I don't like Mesogaians with a smart mouth. He's going to be very disappointed to find out that we all have them. So, but very well done. Such brutes do seem to be unpleasantly common around here. It's good to see someone with a bit more brains to deal with it.
A pleasure. Draven.
Juno, from Athra.
Ah. Well.
And yourself.
Let's call it the desert.
I give you a knowing nod, and the desert it is then, Draven of the Desert. Well, if you're lacking company, I don't know much about the place, but if you'd like to go about your business, I'm sure we'll bump into each other again at some point.
Please join me. Then it can be a table of the smart mouths. God, this is going to be a thing.
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself immediately, is that the group name? Already.
Done.
Yep.
There would be plenty of places for you to go and rest. The way that the tables are set up in these mead halls is some will be off kind of like reclusive tables where you can kind of go and get a rounded table in the corner near fireplaces. And there's considerably a lot of fireplaces around, with smoke just coming out of many chimneys. Most of the tables are designed to sit in front of a great roasts and great spits in the middle of the room where people just go and put their own meats on, their own vegetables on, anything they can kind of cook. Fish is probably the main quantity here. They bring it all on there and feast together. It's quite a big communal kind of feel to it. But you've got all manners of halls. You've got the kind of major drinking hall. You've got the King's Hall, which is further up the stairs. You've got a kind of a gambling hall. You've got a quieter hall for people that are kind of just want to stay to themselves. A more kind of a richer hall, a one with a fighting pit. There's all manners of halls for you to choose.
There's a what?
Yeah, there's everything you can think of. It's kind of a festival
My note
within
just
itself.
totally changed.
So, is there any particular kind of hall you'd be looking for?
Sounds
You
like-
said fighting pit.
Want to go to the fine one? Yeah. So, kind of further around the corner, you would go into a hall. It's located down like a hallway and then across some stairs, and you'd see the tables are arranged along the sides of the room, and in the center they've kind of built their almost a makeshift boxing arena. They've pushed some of the sands where you'd usually put the pits on top of them, and they've got kind of this this wooden kind of barrier around the side, almost like a pig's fence that they've kind of pushed together and turned into this rounded kind of boxing arena. You see a couple of people fighting in there. A broader, kind of almost like large goatee man with kind of flowing hair down his face, sweating, a little bit bloodied. A bigger guy, and then a smaller one. You see kind of as you kind of pass in now, and while people are gathered around, and a little gap opens up, you can see it's a woman, and she's kind of got. She shakes her shoulder back into place. A lot smaller than him. Her hair's like a dark black and just kind of pulls down to her shoulders. She's got it tied up tight, and you see just uppercuts and knocks the guy over, and falls back into the fence, and then people start passing around the money, cheering and whatnot. As you go into that hall, suddenly a gap opens up, and you can see just off to one side, alone, maybe looking around, trying to wonder where they're going, trying to find their way. Tomato, would you like to describe your character as you stood in this hall on your own? Like, around you as well, there's almost like a barrier of people who are not standing near you.
They
Unsure.
don't want to be near me. You would see what looks to be a pile of just armor full of this humanoid-esque shape, glowing slightly green of just wood and dim green light. This is rusty, just old, dilapidated armor. And just this kind of almost sort of hunched and confused looking being, kind of like just kind of scoping out the area around him right now.
This would be, for you two, probably the first tree person you've ever seen or met.
Yeah.
There are none of these in
What?
Mesogai.
That is the most interesting person I've ever seen in my life.
I am extremely intrigued by this this person. This. Well, I do. Do you want to go? And we should introduce. Yes. Yeah,
yes.
think
I
we
will
should.
get myself in trouble if I go down there.
Ah, yes, I see. Well, let's go and well, yes. I'm here to see new things and to meet new people, and I think that I found both in one individual.
Should we mention their leaves? Is that weird?
I don't know. Let's find out.
You lead.
Hello there.
Why, hello.
Hello.
Oh, my goodness. We do apologize. I may be staring a little. We have not encountered one like yourself
Of
before.
course, so you are the people that'll bring me to the god I'm here to speak to, yes?
You are. Well, I don't know about my companion. We've only just met, but I'm afraid I am not. But I am very interested. Are you? I don't know how to phrase this without being rude. What are you?
Well, in the most simple of terms to describe it, I am what you would say as a tree person.
See, you are brought to life by magic.
You're not
Do you have
from
blood?
Here, are you? He's gonna kind of like scope. He's gonna scope him out. He's gonna use quote with here, and
No, we are not from this place. No, I don't know much about my friend, but no, I've come from Mesogaia. Do you know Mesogaia? It's like I'm gonna talk to him like he's an old man.
I'm keenly aware of Mesogaia.
Oh, good. Well, yes, we are from there, I believe.
I see. And he's gonna look past you two. Any minute now, someone's going to come and collect me so I can go talk to who I need to talk to and get out of here. But it has truly been a pleasure. He's gonna try to kind of gesture past these two random confused people who don't know who he is and try to find someone who can bring him to
When you're
the
here,
Asgardian he's been trying to contact.
you're here to meet a god.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to do.
Well,
Every single time I walk up to someone and ask them about it, they stumble off saying they're going to go find them. They seem pretty excited about it, and then they never return.
They're lying. Do you have a heart?
Oh, here we go again. It's going to be one of those days. No, I don't. Believe it or not, I am most specifically a shell with a soul inside of it. I don't actually have any organs or
So no
anything.
blood. No blood.
No blood.
All right.
Bureaucrates, you can't learn about this in a book. Well, good. What is your name? What should we call you?
Do you make
Sir, madam, person? Do you make
Hey, man,
sap?
I just have to unpack whatever he just said. What did you just say?
do you make sap?
No, I am not. Well, I don't necessarily. Sometimes I. Maybe. I've never tried to check. I try not to.
Hi.
I try not to actively think about the nature of my own existence at this point. It is
Oh,
a misery
interesting.
to simply try to comprehend all of
Yeah,
this.
we've all
And
done
he
that.
just gestures.
I'm Draven. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. You could call me. He's gonna like think for a second and kind of ponder. You can call me Willoughby.
Willoughby. Willoughby. Well,
Works.
Willoughby, Draven, I am Juno. I would be glad to assist you. If you are here to meet a god,
Oh,
I
that would
very
be-
much want to see that happen.
That would be excellent. Thank you very much. You're very
Yes,
kind.
of course. Yes, of course.
Do you think if we
if
make
we could get a
trouble, a
move
god
on.
will show up?
You are one to watch out for. I'm going to keep an eye on you.
Question.
Yeah.
Have we entered yet? And
You would
if
have probably just
so-
entered, yeah.
Are we able to hear them discussing that they're
I'm not
looking
quiet.
for a god? Waiting
Hey.
to
Oh yeah, Juno's not quite either.
Yeah, if you
We're
two
loud.
wanted to make your way into the halls and then you start heading your way down there, maybe the first time you come into this hall, and you can kind of see the fighting. Over to the side is an unusual group stood together, and they've just spoken about the gods.
I'm gonna elbow.
Yes.
Did you hear that?
Vaguely.
That one is here to meet a god. These two, I think, are going to help.
Just any god.
No, he's waiting. She, waiting for a god said that he was supposed to meet. Like he knows which god.
There are. Oh, okay.
And I just kind of start to pull her.
Okay.
towards
Yes.
group.
I was trying to smell a god, but all I smelled was sadness. Ugh.
You are a strange fellow, Mr. Draven of the Desert. Willoughby, which of the gods are you here to see? Perhaps that would give us.
I have no idea, really.
You
but I did
don't
hear there was one here today, and they probably know who I am.
right.
It's just Kira like,
Freeze. Please.
Hello, are you here for me? Are you here to help?
Hello.
They must be the ones that were sent to collect me and bring me to who I'm here to
Yes.
see.
oh,
The
to
god
collect you.
caretakers.
Yes. Who were you here to meet again? I'm so sorry.
These are not the ones
I
sent.
didn't have it in my, I didn't know. Who are you here to meet?
Odin.
You don't know?
I'm here to see
Odin.
an Asgardian.
Odin?
Right.
You are here to meet Odin?
Maybe. If
don't
that's who's
know.
here today, then that would be fantastic. That would save
You
me
have heard that
a lot
there
of
is
time. Get that
there is-
crossed off.
You have heard that there is supposed to be one god of each pantheon here tonight to meet.
Is
I
it
only
only
care
one?
about. I frankly only care about the Asgardian one, but that's neat. That's really cool. That's something.
Is one of
sorry.
them the one you're to meet?
We keep looping back to this, and I keep telling you, I
You
don't
have no
know which
idea.
Asgardian it's going
So
to be
a
today. No,
buffet.
absolutely not.
And you, ladies, you do not know the gods who are here either. That is perhaps a
No.
miscommunication
I would
then.
really love to know. I'd really, really love to know.
I'm just
Well,
here for the food.
Oh,
Well, that at least makes 4 of us who would like to know which gods will be in attendance, and then 1 of us who is
And one
simply
who's
here
here for
for the
food.
food. Yes. Well, I am happy to help in any way that I can. If you are looking for the gods, if there is a way that we can help, or if you just simply want some company of some very, very interesting people, I offer my services to you. This is Willoughby. I'll gesture to Tomato. We have the Raven, and I am Juno. And you are?
Lena.
Lena.
Eldred.
Eldred. And you are Midgardians?
Yes.
Well, perhaps then you can help us navigate this place of sweat, mead, and bumbling men. Perhaps.
There's a lot of sweat.
I sat in there.
It's very sweaty.
I can't smell any of it, but I'll assume.
Do
You should
not
be
have a
glad of
nose?
that.
You are blessed.
Can you taste?
No, God, no, not
My goodness.
no.
Oh,
That is unfortunate.
Would you
in
like
some
to?
ways.
I would. That'd be something. Though, I quite literally, again, I believe we've already covered this. I have no organs, so that is extremely difficult, if not impossible, to do.
Are there more like you, Willoughby? Are you unique?
Oh God, let's hope there's not any more being made. But there are ones that existed at the same time as me last time I was here. If they were dead, though, I wouldn't complain.
were they shit?
They're kind of shit, yeah.
Very fascinating.
Have
Very
you made
fascinating.
arrows out of their bodies?
Oh yeah, that's easy. And Willoughby's just going to immediately manifest a bow out of his own hand. Yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff with these things. It's a piece of
It's
cake.
a good trick.
I like that.
Yeah, you just have to trade off all of your sensations, pain, any kind of really anything at all in exchange for this party trick. Looks over at you.
Yeah.
And mental pain?
Might be okay. Yeah.
Emotional pain?
Get rid of
Oh, I
that.
still feel those. Yes, I feel
Oh,
those.
then
I feel
never
those
mind.
all the time, like this. Yes.
Oh dear.
Oh, the
Yeah,
time.
you get used to it though. I'm hundreds of years old at this point. so-
Really?
Oh yeah.
You must have lots of knowledge that you've accumulated over these years.
Well,
Me too.
knowledge based on the locations I've been in those
Where have you
hundreds
been?
of years. I know a lot about trees.
I bet.
You ask me pretty much anything about trees, I can
What do you think about-
lay those on you.
What do you think about
Thinking bigger questions.
wandering around and selling seeds? Like oak seeds? Or how do you feel about that?
Don't get
Is that
scammed by any hacks trying to sell you
there
seeds
was a
out
hack
here.
on the
You'll
way.
never
That's what
be
I
able to
thought.
tell which seeds are which. They all just look
Do
like
you know?
seeds.
Is there a blossom?
Avron
pick a-
blossom.
Exactly. And you pick a leaf, and I think you put it in your pocket and you fly. Have you heard of that? Is that real?
Did we know that joke?
What kind
You've
of
never heard of
role
it.
would
Yeah.
I take?
You've
10
never,
silver.
None of us
Seems
have
like
heard
a
of
Okay.
scam.
yeah, you don't need to roll for that. You've never heard of that in your life. No one has.
You didn't. Yeah, that doesn't exist.
That's what I said.
unfortunately.
It hasn't been
Yep.
recorded in existence.
Well,
Well, I've certainly never read it in the great libraries of the academia. That's not to say, as my friend Raven says, that's not to say it doesn't exist, but I've never read about it.
The libraries, you are well versed in word.
Well, I studied there, yes, but I do not
you don't-
put much.
we don't know each other already.
No,
We
met
just
today.
met. We just met.
fantastic.
Both drawn by this most interesting person, Willoughby, and a bumbling Midgardian who was harassing Mr. Raven here. I admired the way that he dealt with it. And now we've met. And now we have met you.
Are you here for the gods?
Oh, yes.
Which ones?
Well, depends how it goes.
Are you followers of the gods? Are you priests or priestesses?
I would be very happy if Ekati showed up. Give her a nice handshake.
Mm.
And there's someone else who I would be a bit less happy to see, but maybe that'd be better in the long run. What if it was both of them?
You are a very interesting one as well. And what of you, Lena? You did not answer the question. Are you a worshipper, a follower, a priest?
Your pause makes me concerned.
She is Lena.
Dad.
What kind of question is that?
That's nothing.
Acknowledge
Answers nothing.
that the gods are around. I don't
So-
know that any are worth
Ah.
following.
So they're like clouds.
I were going to follow someone. I would say that if I had to put a name, if I had to pick, have you heard of Loki?
Yes. I've heard of.
Is that the horse?
Is it the horse or the big snake, or is it the
No,
other
well,
one? Was it all of them?
sometimes.
One time
Yes.
a fish and one time the horse.
Interesting.
I mean, a
First,
lot
walk
of
up to
things.
any random animal. There's about a 50% chance it is Loki.
You see,
Well noted, Willoughby. Well noted. I will
got
keep a reminder.
so if I bite animals, there's a chance that it's going to be Loki.
Yes.
You know, I'd never thought about that.
Mr. Draven, why did you point at yourself when we were asking Lena which god she was looking for? Are you a god?
No, it was the Layla, that one was speaking about who she would follow. So I was merely suggesting myself.
All right, but not as a
What do
god.
you offer?
No. I'm open to conversation.
So am I.
Well, clearly this is something that I should perhaps leave the two of you to. But if you are
stay.
looking,
Stay.
you have been the most pleasant conversationalists that we've had so far, along with Willoughby here. If you were looking for companions, I would be glad to take a moment to sit with you if you wish. I don't know how long till these gods show up. I don't know if there is a plan or a schedule for them to arrive.
As you're
They
talking, by the
arrive
way,
in
you
their
can
own
see
time.
everyone is starting to like exit the halls, and you can see people talking. Guards are ushering people forward, saying, "That's right.
Oh,
That's right."
it's now.
It's almost
We
like
must
you
follow.
know.
Yes, I don't want to miss this. This is what I came for.
No.
Lead the way.
We follow.
So,
That one scares me.
As we get up to follow, I'm gonna just kind of push my sleeves up a little bit and just kind of shrug my shoulders a little and then loosen up and keep walking.
okay, yeah. You as you kind of calm down and follow into the crowd, you see everyone's kind of slowly leading their way into up the stairs and going up towards the main hall. A couple of stories up, a few staircases up, you get into the crowd where you're not too far behind. Other halls start pouring in as well as you make your way into the King's Hall. The King's Hall is the greatest of all the ones here. It's large. It has a massive pit down the middle filled with pigs, ox, various kind of fish that were not local, clearly brought from quite far. All manners of vegetables from Mesogaia, Thela, and Midgard. A great selection of food going down the middle pits. People have already kind of ushered in and sat around tables. And right kind of as you kind of come into the hall, you see this massive, what is best described as a massive drinking tankard in the middle. The size of kind of several bathtubs. It's huge. It goes up about 6.5 feet off the ground, and it's filled to the brim with this dark, just kind of bubbling slightly ale. A small staircase kind of wraps up around it, almost like a kind of a grape crushing cauldron. At the far end of the hall, you would see, raised on a platform, set up on this kind of stone throne, is a very elderly, white wispy hair, kind of very jagged to a point where their face is sunken, king, wearing white furs that have kind of been pulled over him to keep him warm. Even though it's a warm day and it's warm in this hall, you can see the extra layers to kind of help his old bones. Various people kind of gathering in the hall to listen to it. You see horns kind of blow as more of you kind of filter in. Nearby, on the stage just below him, you'd see two people. One sat on a chair, younger, ginger hair that kind of flows and goes a bit dark towards the bottom. A beard that's been braided into two long braids with loads of just kind of small like augments of like runes, these wooden kind of things keeping them together, kind of holding it in place. A warrior by his kind of look, wearing kind of strong studded leather, axe by his side, leaning against the top of it. And on the other side, wearing a dark, almost like dark brown robe that's well vetted with this rope that's kind of tied around the waist and around the neckline. Bald, not a single hair on him, including no eyebrows. But coming out of the eyes, instead of eyes, has two twigs with small leaves growing on top of him. Almost like these two kind of branches have been growing out of his eyes. He stands there silently to one side. You see as the king stands, looks across the crowd and goes, "Welcome!" Looks down to the man beside him, who kind of lets out this soft bit of magic. If you know thaumaturgy, this is almost like an outer casting of it, and cast it upon him so that he can boom his voice across the hall. It's still soft. It feels as if you're closer and hearing him. You're all kind of hearing it at the same level. "Welcome to my halls. Every one of you is welcome here. Those of Midgard, my family, those of Ithela, the New World, and those of Mesogaia, the world I've heard so much about. Here in the halls of Hellet, I, King Hrothgar, welcome you all. Thank you for coming. First, let me tell you this is a place of peace. All of you are welcome here. If you are to fight, we have pits of it, though we ask you do not share blood here. Enough blood has been shed by this war." He steps forward, and you can see, suddenly from the rooftop, a small kind of wooden panel opens, and dangling on a chain lowering down, slightly rotten but still fleshy, you see this gangly, slightly blackened from the rot, but mostly this kind of reddish flesh, comes down a huge clawed hand that dangles down towards him. He reaches his hand up, and you can see his hand's only the size of one of the long nails that have kind of... The nails on this hand have continued to grow as the keratin just carries on growing. You see he runs his finger across and goes, "Ever since Beowulf killed the great Grendel in this very hall, this has been a place of peace, one where we welcome all. Its arm symbolizes the end of fighting in this area. And if you've heard the rumors, the greatest peace is yet to come, for two gods have agreed to come down, or prophesize they are. Everyone roll a perception check.
Nat 20.
Oh,
Shut up.
Nat 20.
Nat 20 as well? Nice.
Yeah, literally.
Oh shit! I accidentally had advantage on. I guess.
I did
but-
use physical death.
That's okay. No,
7.
you can use your physical die.
11.
I trust.
See, I'm looking at you because you still scare me a little bit.
OG, I think you roll persuasion.
I clicked the wrong thing. That's why I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Willoughby and Juno. During the speech, you'd notice.
What's going on?
No, the perception came through that time.
No, but it's yeah.
I gotcha. I'll gotcha.
Thank you.
Willoughby and Juno, this whole time during this whole conversation, the man with the twig eyes has not taken his eyes off of you, your group. And you can see the leaves start to grow on the twigs every time he peers over to your area. His mouth slightly open, a little bit agape, watching you five. The king stands tall and says, "It is true. 2 kings are coming down. 2 gods. You're wondering who? My prophet," he points down to the one with the twig eyes, "has foreseen it. These halls will be braced with Thor, the god of thunder,
Shit.
and Ares, god of war. 2 rivals in this war. Come here to drink upon our great cauldron of mead, the greatest mead in all of Hellet. They shall share a drink together. I've called you here to witness a fair. 4 years ago to this day, the breach was opened, and our worlds united in war against one another. For once, we shall share peace. So please, when we have word of the god's arrival, we will call you back to the hall. Any of those who wish to see what is the greatest marvel you'll ever see, return. But for now, enjoy the games. Enjoy your drinks, enjoy your food. Try not to pass out before the gods alive. Welcome to Hellet. And thank you for coming. He runs his hand down the great arm. And the hall erupts into cheers and discussion as people start to Thor's coming. Forget that.
Grab Eldred's arm.
You see as King Horsegar sits down.
Squeeze it very hard.
Yeah, I gripped your shoulder at the names.
Really?
Hey, what are the odds?
What do we do? Just
I
start
don't
flexing
know.
my hands.
Do we
I don't
notice the way they're being? Do we see you guys kind of like... Do you seem nervous? Is
think
that
I am-
obvious?
I think that was not hidden because I think she was so taken aback.
Okay.
Look, the good news is I don't know much of Ares, but he's not the most peaceful. And I can't see them actually getting along very well.
Is that good news considering?
Good news is perhaps they destroy each other and we have nothing to do with it.
If they destroy each other in a place of peace, that is more of a problem for everyone here.
You
have
seem
their
to be
own rules.
particularly perturbed. Is it just the nature of the gods who are attending, or is there something? Do you know something else? Is there something we
know.
should be aware of?
I know a lot of things.
We don't know what
Have you ever spent a long time thinking about a thing that could happen, working towards a thing for so long that it becomes, I don't know, an idle thought. You don't believe anymore that it could happen. Yes. And then suddenly the opportunity might drop right in front of you.
Interesting. And you, Miss Willoughby, are either of these the gods that
Willoughby
you were
has not
hoping?
been listening. He's been pacing back and forth, like just incredibly uncomfortable at the thought that it's Thor that he has to speak to, and he hasn't listened to a single word anyone's been saying since.
It seems that everyone is a little nervous. Did anyone else notice that the prophet? Did any of you notice?
He was staring us down. That's what I can tell
He
you.
has twigs for eyes. Yes, I noticed.
Yeah.
They were
Looking right
watching
at us that whole time. Bad news.
Are they still within sight?
Yeah, they're still up on the stage area. You can see there, kind of, as people are looking out, you can see that the younger one who's sat on the chair nearby is kind of trying to talk to him, but he's staring past him towards you.
You know,
I say he's still staring at us.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to leave a message with the prophet and
No.
depart.
You are here
don't
to speak
want
to
to
a god, and as your new companion, I feel it is my obligation to do that. Aye, come.
Do you
See,
not
I was here to
Thor?
speak to a god that was hopefully a little bit more shield.
Lucky?
You were not
really,
you were
really,
not,
pretty much any single god, but
you were
Thor.
not particular before. Well, there's Ares. I mean,
Do you need
Ares is not
One
one
of
to speak
ours.
to.
Yes.
No. Yours are not relevant to me. No offense. It's nothing to do with. It's just
No,
I
you
don't need
one
to speak
from
to
here.
them.
Yes.
I need to speak
That
to an
one.
Asgardian, yes. But I was hoping it wouldn't be Thor is all, because he just. There's just so many nicer ones, ones that are less
I know.
violent.
Yes.
so
Yes.
you've met some.
I'm going to have a word with the prophet, I think, and then it really has been a pleasure. But
I
after
think
that,
you
I'm
should
probably
all-
just going to leave.
They were staring at all of us.
He's
I
already
think we
walking
should
over
all
towards
make our way.
Yep,
Okay.
I snapped at him.
Yeah. Listen after him. She just steps up
Oi,
close to you.
mate.
He brings out this kind of just pair of almost like kind of snipping tools and just cuts two of the twigs at the end. You see they slowly grow a little bit more as he looks at you. You reek of fate. All of you.
Now that's interesting. Does not everyone have fate?
No. No.
It was nice to meet you too.
Who are you? Why have you come?
We've
You
come
see
to
us?
see the spectacle.
Well,
Same as everyone.
Yeah.
just
We're
came
here
here
to
to leave a
speak to a
message
god.
for whichever. Honestly, if you could just leave a message for Thor for me, that would be.
We demand to speak to Thor.
I would a message. It's just a message. Just I can write you a note for it.
He kind of says
A
close
note.
to you.
Of presence, requesting an audience.
I do not directly communicate with him. Dreams grow in my mind. But your fates trouble me.
My. What do you see?
I see a person's aura. Their fate clings to them like a bad smell. All I can smell is you five in this cloud.
Fate is what we make it. One can manifest a destiny. But I do think that you sense something important about some of us. But can you tell us no more than this prophet? Is it just you sense something about us? Have you seen us before? Have you witnessed something?
I have dreamt of you. Though the dreams do not work as easily as that. You are trees in a meadow. But I saw an entire forest burning, and 5 smells coming from it. 5 trees. 5 people. Your smell. You. You see the red-headed man come over, place his hand on the shoulder of the prophet. We're scaring them. Is there something he said that is wrong? He is often rambling half the time.
No, it is not scary. It was about fate.
It is not uncommon for the prophet to be wrong. You can see kind of glare to its side. And you can kind of get the glare because he does narrow his eyelids, which kind of press against the twig, and he opens up again in kind of realization of the pain. And you see the man saying, I just mean that don't take his word to the heart. I am sure he's without sleep. I'm Poetic, by the way, Prince of the Halls.
Ah, the son of the king, of Herod.
His eldest.
Ah. Does that mean that if you would inherit, I'm not familiar with the customs here, would you become the king of the hall if when your father eventually passes?
Unfortunately not. My father promised the halls to Beowulf, king in the north of Unherners, years ago.
Beowulf.
What will you do then?
I'll do what I've been doing for years. I travel, I fight. I explore.
It's good.
Are you good?
Yes, I can certainly attest to two of those being favorable. And what do you make of this Thor and Ares coming?
Well, to answer your question, am I good? I'm better than the ones I beat. Not better than the one who beats me. That's yet to happen, so I'd say I'm pretty good so far. As for the Ares and Thor, he looks at the prophet. I don't mean to doubt his skills. But I am a skeptic, I suppose. I have seen very little of the gods. Or their actions or their activities in these halls, never, really. The prophet once told me when I was a boy that I would die by the hands of my own father, so. I don't know if you've seen my father's hands, but they're not exactly the killing type. The
Can you
prophet kind
not
of looks
just
down.
Stay out of arm's reach.
Oh, no. I still hug my father every night before I go to bed. You do not fear your fate, because half the time you can change it, or it does not happen in the first place. I am waiting to see whatever comes through these halls. The prophet sometimes gets it wrong, but it's not always wrong, not entirely wrong. No, it's some
They see a
truths.
possibility.
There's a possibility that Thor and Ares arrived. There's a possibility that my father kills me, I suppose. But
Do you think perhaps there is these visions of the prophet are more allegory rather than Ares and Thor come to drink, perhaps emissaries or people that bear their symbol, perhaps. Perhaps it is the actions of your father that may lead to your death. Is that perhaps something? I do not... this sort of future seer is a little beyond me, but that is the way that I would perhaps maybe find something a bit more believable in such visions. Perhaps it is more...
he leans up and you see he cuts off the ends of the twigs again as they groan even further. He says, 5 trees in a burning forest. And Heretic, please. I think that is more likely. But very astute. Most will believe the words of one who can wield magic here. So the prophet's words, your words are always taken far too closely to heart, but I think what you said... What is your name? He looks towards you, Juno.
Juno. I am of Athra of Mesogaia, from the Academia. I'm a traveler, like you said, and a fighter if I need to be, but more of a scholar. I am what we would call in Mesogaia a philosopher. It is my duty and my desire to understand the world, to learn and to interpret what I can, and to build my own... How could I put it? My own way of seeing things and understanding them. And that is why I'm here. I believe it is important to experience the world, not just read about it.
Well, one thing to learn about Midgard is that there are many prophets. Many of them get it wrong. Some never do. This one has gotten it wrong a few times. You can see the prophet just sees no offense on his face. He's just staring at all of you.
Yeah, it's being creepy.
Yeah. If you'd prefer it, I'd ask him to leave and that you fine folks enjoy what Herod has to offer. Keep your hopes tapered.
Does your father know of this prophecy involving him?
My father is he's a very gullible man. He believes in most things he hears. I told him, and he is always a little bit cautious around me. No sharp cutlery, nothing like that. I think it's ridiculous, but he believes it. He cries over it, actually. All used to. He's a worried man. But I assure you, whatever the prophet has said to you, I'm sure you have nothing to fear. He puts his hand back on the prophet's shoulders. Just find you a drink, my friend. Just leave these fine folks to their own entertainment for the night.
Question. Sorry. I look at the prophet. You saw Thor. You saw Ares. Did you see what happened when they got here?
The whore. It erupts in thunder. It erupts in blood. Every
This
foot.
place is going to be a crater at the end of all this, I assure you.
But when will they come? I don't know. The anniversary. I remember we were celebrating the anniversary.
The anniversary.
Of the breach.
Of what?
Rethic, can I say it? It is. Please do not entertain him. He is.
It is fine. I like stories. It is okay.
If he's not doing any harm, then I'll leave him to you. But if you need him sent away, you just come to me. Right. Enjoy! And may I suggest try the darkest of ales here. The darker the better. It's what we specialize in. Welcome to our humble hall. He turns and he walks back towards the throne area. Five trees in a burning forest. 5 left not burning. Your fate stinks.
I'll just
Thirsty.
kinda,
This is a bad scene.
I'll just
as you
kind of
call
put
it,
my my hand on his forearm. Thank you.
He turns
Well, if
and
we are...
begins walking. Oh, and you trying to talk to him?
No. I was going to say thanks to the group.
Okay, yeah, he walks back towards this thing, but kind of watches over his shoulder towards it.
Well, if we are to burn here or have it explode into blood, I would at least like to have a drink first.
Absolutely.
And taste this infamous mead. I don't. Who knows how long we have to wait? And yeah.
Let us get drinks.
Okay. Which hall do you want to go to? Back to the fine one, or do you want to go to a different one, or what? There's all sorts of
I
stuff.
don't have a preference personally right now. I was fighty at first, but now apparently everybody's gonna die, so not much of a victory if there's no one to talk about it.
That's a good point. What are our options? Fighty pits.
So you've got kind of a gambling hall where you can go and play liar's dice or other kind of little kind of drinking games and whatnot. There's a pure drinking hall where people challenge others to drinking contests and whatnot. There's kind kind of quieter ones have conversations or find work, find jobs, and coin. There's another one where you can go and join in with flighting, which is kind of a kind of a Norse version of a rap battle, essentially. Yeah, there's a fighting pit, and there's kind of general shopping areas as well.
Fighting pit.
Forget the fighting pit. I like the flighting pit. I want to make Joe say rhyming insults.
Right.
Also, did you put all of this work into this place and then you're going to destroy it?
Yeah.
Sometimes you kill the thing you love most.
Wow.
Kill your darlings.
I was like, I have like all these notes about how intense this place is, and I'm like, wait, they're talking about a crater.
Yeah. I am going to go to the drinking hall. If we could always arrange to meet back here in a few moments if people have different things. But I think I want to put I want to sample many of the different beverages that you have here.
Okay.
I just want one of the darkest, and then I'll be happy.
I am okay with the drinking. I'm okay with whatever. You?
But I would like to witness you doing your thing that you're so excited about.
I'm happy to drink first, and then we'll have to describe the flavors to our associate here, Willoughby, who doesn't taste.
How do you describe a flavor to one who has never experienced flavor?
You feel the sensation.
I was a human at one point. Let me be clear about something.
Oh?
I was
What?
once a human. I did
When?
taste things once, which is why it's so much more troubling that I can't now.
Interesting.
Oh.
So you are
Oh, I did not
reborn.
know this.
Sorry?
You were enforced into this body that you
I
have
would
now?
definitely use the latter term rather than the former.
Oh.
Do
Was
you
this-
absorb liquids like?
Can you get out?
I definitely
need
do need
So
to
many
drink.
questions.
Oh, then yes.
Okay. We will get a drink and figure out how to get you out of this.
I don't.
Or
I do. What?
you
There are.
need help?
Am I allowed to say the S thing we discussed?
The S. The S.
Yes.
There are soul inside of this.
Ooh.
I am not a person stuck inside. There's not a human skin or any kind of body.
No, I mean I
under this.
can
Let
see
me be
through a little
clear.
bit.
There's no organs,
I can
no
see
blood.
through tiny.
If you were to take a hammer to my shell and crack it open, I would likely explode and my
I
soul
meant
would
in
disperse.
a more metaphorical sense of like, is
Really?
there a way to free you from, if you would like to do so?
Rehouse
I've
you.
been asking that for a long time, and usually the answer is just stop asking.
You have made me ask a lot of interesting questions. What if your soul can be placed inside this tree? What is the nature of it? What is the it brings up so many questions.
Wait, have we seen tree people? If they haven't, because they're from Mesogaia, have we ever seen tree people?
Actually, from
Oh, yeah, my
where you're
friend
from,
down the road.
yeah. Though maybe not in terms of like the same look as Willoughby. They're a little bit kind of, usually maybe a little bit more wider, built bigger, kind of stronger, like a warrior builds almost. A little bit less. It feels a little bit more designed, a little bit more bark-like, less kind of tree-like, if that makes sense. Like they've kind of been refined and a little bit constructed. You might have seen a couple of those. They're rare, but they exist in Midgard.
Was this some sort of punishment? How did this
Your
happen?
guess is as good as mine. I really listen. It's a long story. This is like a
Well,
this is
we'll
like a
get
couple
drinks, it is
hours
fine.
drinking story, unpacking all of that.
Let's
and
go,
While
let's
I'd love to, it's a whole thing.
We've just
right,
met.
well, come,
I understand.
drinks.
But yes, let us drink, and maybe you can tell us a part of it, and then another time you can tell us more, and so on and so on. Or maybe we all die because this meat hall explodes. I don't
no,
know.
5 trees remain, and we smell like those trees. We're fine.
Sure. Profits. Malaka. And yeah, I will go heading in the direction of the drinking hall. I think, like, if we're at that stage where it's like, you know, gathering people, doing that convention thing where you're like,
Yeah,
okay,
right?
come on, guys. Like,
You just
somebody
start
starts
walking,
moving
like-
away, yeah, and they turn and like, yeah, come on, like.
Can I just say thank you for making Malacca canon? It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, I'm gonna
It's
say
so
that
good.
a lot. Yeah.
It's so good.
I've played enough Assassin's Creed Odyssey to learn like two things, and I'm gonna
Malacca's
say
one.
those things.
yeah. For you
Chai
guys to
and
know,
Malacca.
Malacca's like a kind of an ancient Greek insult exclamation. It's kind of like the fuck of ancient Greece. It basically means wanker. It's great.
Yeah.
They say it all the time in that game, and I loved it. Okay. Yeah, you
Yes,
head up.
as well. That's
Yes. Yeah. It's so good. You head back towards the drinking hall, going off into one of those. You can see various bars here set up with all manner of kind of merchants which have set up their own stalls, brought in kegs in their own kind of caravans and brought them up onto it. It's almost done like a marketplace, almost like a beer festival in a way. The way it's kind of set up around the entire hall with all the tables pushed to one side where people are going off, buying as many ales as they can and going back and drinking them. The one kind of built heavily into the hall itself, kind of built into the actual bar to one side, where it's behind this wooden counter with like designs all drawn into it of kind of stags and bears. You can see larger kegs with these kind of metallic tankards being served out with very dark ale in those ones. That's kind of the house special, but the rest of it, whatever drink you're looking for, you can pretty much get here. Except for wine. Not much wine here.
Okay. Well,
I would like the darkest mead you have.
Me as well.
Okay, you go up to the bar.
yeah, why not?
A house special.
You see kind of a very kind of broad woman stand behind the bar with a kind of a braided red hair that kind of comes over her shoulder. All right. Just 2? 3?
Is the water free?
The water is free.
Take a water.
All right.
2.
2 waters?
Oh, Draven. Really?
It's
You don't like ale?
no,
Does
it's
it
a
not
palate,
agree with you?
it's a palate cleanser.
Ah.
Ah. Well, then I think 3 of the house special, is that it? Whatever is the local
I find
flavor?
Aye. All right. 3 it is. Goes over towards one of the kegs, pours them out. You can see it just comes out super dark, like you can't see through it at all. A little bit of froth on the top. Brings over each one. And then dips kind of just 2 little tankards into water in like a little kind of bucket nearby. Doesn't look like the best of waters. It looks like it might have been... it's near all the kind of dishes and other tankards, so you can probably speculate that it's there for cleaning. Puts onto the top. Right, that will be 12 copper pieces per drink, so 36.
Okay.
I hand over 12.
Juno very slowly and like confusedly is like checking the money, like,
Yeah.
is
It's
this
this
one
one.
of? Yeah, okay, I think that's one. Ugh, I can't tell the difference of this Midgard coin. And yeah, like thumbs out, like however much in copper,
Yeah.
basically.
All right. Takes it across. Pushes your drinks to us. Enjoy. And enjoy your waters. Goes
Oh,
back
grab
to
it.
serving someone else.
He's gonna pour it right over his.
She looks at you.
Pours it, just upends it over his own helmet.
There
Okay.
are bathing holes if you need those instead.
This is how I drink water.
Right. Okay.
Hey, okay.
Moves on to the next patrons.
I'm gonna reach into my pocket. This is gonna get weird. I'm sorry. I'm gonna
Yeah.
reach into my pocket. He unwraps something, and it's a finger. He bites it, so it starts bleeding a little bit, and drops it in his water.
Does anyone catch this? Do we all catch this?
He's not subtle. I had one for you, but I don't think that you'll need it.
I just need the water or I die. I can't taste it anyways. There's no difference in the liquid as long as it contains water.
So you also.
Why are you doing that though? That's
I'll just kind of hold up my mug like a cheers thing when I see the finger deal and just be like, take a drink.
So that means that you can consume blood if it's poured on you. Have you tested that?
I mean, no, I've never
Would
tested
you
it.
like
I don't.
to?
Do you want to?
I like you.
Or
The two of
like an ale or a wine or something? You want to try
you
something
didn't
else?
mean
Blood,
blood.
ale, wine.
What the hell? I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
Maybe this will be different for once.
We have a little, yes?
The blood?
No, they mean ale.
No, the blood works too.
Oh, what?
Try the blood.
I
Try it
mean the
all.
blood. The
Yeah,
ale.
try it all.
I've already
See.
tested. That won't
Well,
matter.
there we go. We know that one then. Try the blood. See what happens.
I'm very curious about this blood thing, but I'm going to just let it go. I'm going to enjoy my drink. You do you.
I'm gonna pull out a mouse.
All right.
Is it alive or is it dead?
Yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
And then I'll like a lemon. I'll squeeze it.
Nice.
Oh. Nice.
Good imagery. Yeah, your blood trickles down on top of you.
I just
You can
stare
absorb
really
it.
intently.
It absorbs into your wood, seeps into the cracks.
You're so interesting.
I mean, I can't taste. It just kind of gets in there. You know what
But
I
is
mean?
it possible?
Feel it?
Is it possible that because you're a soul, you're literally absorbing the life that comes from it? Life does come from water. So are you siphoning the energy of life from the things you absorb? I wonder what else we can pour on you. Can you? Oh,
Does that mean then
I
that
feel
the
like
soul
I need to
requires
establish
sustenance?
what allows me to continue to be alive, because it is not just my soul is inside of a bunch of wood and I'm like a kind of soul energy vampire deal. I am literally a piece of the world tree. I came out of that.
What?
So I don't need to absorb energy from the things around. I just need water. That's it.
Oh,
you didn't say that other part before. You just said you were a tree man.
I mean, everyone knows. Everyone knows.
We
My
didn't
people
know
are
where
made from
tree
the world
people
tree,
came
that's-
from.
Oh,
We-
you
we
aren't
told-
from here. I keep forgetting you
No.
are.
We
Yeah, I'm
told you
from
you
the,
were-
I came from the world tree, technically.
technically, in a way, we all
I don't.
come from the world.
I,
It's
li-
all
I
connected, but
literally
I know what you mean,
emerged
yes.
from the wood of the tree.
But
You're
you were a
different than the other
man.
ones we've seen.
You were a
Yes.
man.
Once I was a man, and then I was a
You're
tree.
How did you come out
That
of
period in between, you don't remember? You don't
Oh,
have...
I remember it perfectly. It's just at a certain point you stop trying to think about it.
Right, yes.
Same.
And
when you-
you're
when
worried
you-
about-
Existential crisis,
When you
etc.
gruesomely die, you don't typically try to revisit your gruesome demise many times, do you?
I think
So
our
when you
friend...
died, you did not go to hell.
Oh God knows that would have been something. Oh,
What stopped you?
well, like I said, one moment I was alive,
Be negative.
then big pool of lava, boom, I'm in the lava. Next second, tree.
Sure.
Simple as that.
Were you here to? You said you were here to meet a god, but you didn't know which one. Were you sent here to meet them, or you heard they would be here, and so you came?
Okay,
To meet
hang on. I gotta ask all of you this because it's very important before I disclose anything else, because
Yes.
I need to know if you're like, are you guys all cool? He's gonna use quotes when he says cool.
I'm gonna just lean back a little bit and look at Eldred like, yes, obviously.
We are the coolest.
They are
I'm going to
definitely
immediately
cool. We've
insight check
just
that.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
We are
an
the
18.
coolest.
So how cool are you really?
Yeah. How cool are you two?
How cool are you
In
really? No
quantifiable
jokes.
terms.
pretty fucking cool, honestly. Yeah, we actually are
Yep.
pretty fucking cool. No lie.
Are you acting
Anyone
sketchy?
else?
No, it was a very like matter of fact, like yeah, like it should be self-evident. Like, yeah.
I feel like Eldred is always acting sketchy.
Yeah,
so
that's
there's
true.
no-
That's true.
Like, look
Looking
at
forward,
Eldred,
like-
like
For
just
context-
staring into your soul.
This applies much more to the Mesogaians than it does to the people from.
Oh right. Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty cool. Yeah.
You seem cool. Cool.
I'm going to assume that maybe there's some concerns about. I'm guessing that my insight would say that there is some concern about the gods or about things like that. You don't need to worry about that.
If you're going to get in trouble.
I'm normal person
Listen,
body
I'm-
temperature.
What was that?
Continue.
All right.
He's a strange one. I can't speak to him. I've never met
Strange,
someone
but honestly,
like this.
Also cool.
He's very cool.
So I'm what some may call under a sort of forced employment under the gods as of 24 years ago or so, give or take, 24 years.
Did you got drafted?
I need to give them an update on my current situation and investigation
You're investigating.
so that I can continue my...
Are you investigating the breach? You're
Oh
investigating.
no, that's old
another?
news. That's
No,
old news.
What are you investigating?
You know the world tree, that thing I came out of?
Yes, Yggdrasil, yes.
Now someone poisoned that thing that I came out of?
Yes.
Did you poison it?
No, but I do want to find who did that.
Well, wasn't it
Pretty
Zeus?
bad.
You're just looking for Zeus. You're going to.
Frankly, okay, and I've been taking my instructions very literally from the gods and from the Council of Christia that ordered me to do this at threat of my life if I did not, but they told me to simply find who did it and bring forward evidence proving their guilt. So
They don't
technically,
know that. They don't
yes.
think that it's.
So you're the last tree person, right?
No. Oh, that'd be great, though. That would really...
Are you the last tree person from the world tree?
No, not to my knowledge, no.
Okay, so if the world tree dies, won't one of you have to become the new world tree?
If the world tree dies,
We have bigger
I
problems if
certainly
the
die
world's
with it, as does every other Christia
thing.
born from it. That is our official name for the
No.
record. But that's a very long process. The tree's been poisoned for so long now, and I still feel fine as I can feel, what with me being
Interesting.
Do you
a
have?
tree.
What leads do you have?
Let me just gonna pull out like a little notepad and kind of flip through it. It's mostly completely empty. Well, I was supposed to sort of bring a couple updates in about 20 years ago on where I was at, and then I got stranded for a little bit.
Okay.
But have any of you considered poisoning the world tree before? Have you ever had any thoughts of perhaps poisoning a tree?
I
anything you
was
wanna get
I
off your
like
chest?
trees. Actually, I wouldn't poison one.
Remind it, how long ago was the world tree poisoned?
20 years ago. Just over 20 years ago.
I would have literally been a baby, so I am not responsible.
All right, that is one more person I can scratch off the list.
You can
This is
scratch me
important.
off your list?
I have
Oh,
to
you're a
include.
baby.
There's a lot of blank, empty space here that I need to fill before I bring this to someone. So,
I
thank you.
was not a baby. But I also did not poison the world tree. I like trees. I wouldn't poison the tree. I was.
Are you sure, though?
Unfortunately, I was
Yeah,
2 years old, so
definitely.
you can't mark me out.
Actually was just getting married at the time. I had other things on my mind. I was not poisoning trees.
So you say. It's going to be question marks next to your name.
Gino and Eldred are like, not them, fine.
No, but you is this Willoughby? Is this how you look for clues generally? Is this what you ask?
Well, I'm not a trained detective or investigator of any kind. Let me be clear when I say that. My
Oh, I can
mission
tell.
was more of a forced, you have to do this or
Or-
we will kill you situation.
Who told
So
you specifically? All of the gods together? Did just one?
it was kind of a collective fuck you kind of
Did they just
situation.
stand there around you in a circle? Find who did it or we kill you.
Why are you so concerned about speaking to Thor about this then?
Oh, no, trust me. Thor is just one of the last ones. I just feel like of the ones that I would deliver, my notes to, and he's going to flip through his pretty much empty notebook. Thor's the one that is most likely to kind of and just kind of slap me and destroy me in a single swing of his big arm.
Upset with your
So-
progress. Yes.
So, okay.
Okay.
Well,
Would you like help?
fascinating.
Help would be good. Do any of you know who did it?
So,
Well, we were. Everyone seems to believe it was Zeus. I thought this was
do they not?
no knowledge.
It could have been Zeus, but even still, I've been told to find evidence, which
Did
is
they
the more complicated part of this
Yeah, did
equation,
they,
because it's very hard to just get to Zeus. You can't just.
But are not the gods all powerful? Can Odin not see all? Why does he need someone to go and find evidence?
Me and Odin are not we don't have many conversations, me and the guy.
No,
So
no.
I don't
My apologies.
know his whole situation and what he can and can't do, because frankly, most of them scare me.
Do they
Fair.
have you considered this might just be a very elaborate prank and they don't like you?
Oh, I've considered every moment since I became this one big elaborate prank.
They
So,
don't.
yes.
They know. They could find out on their own. They don't need to send you to an impossible task that you cannot complete. That's
Or can they? Perhaps they are not as all powerful as they claim.
I
These
don't
are
think that they're all
very
powerful, but-
possible, but at the end of the day, if a god tells you that they're going to destroy you and turn you into mulch if you don't do something, typically you're going to do it to be on the safe side so you don't turn into mulch. So
I know.
that's what I'm going to continue to do so long as they can find me.
I have a suggestion.
Yes.
Let's go ask Ares.
Well, if I were to make a big scene and ask him a bunch of questions in front of Thor, then Thor would have no way to dispute the fact that I've been doing my job.
Or you could make a scene in front of Thor to then try to give Ares cause to want to speak to you. If there is some conflict as everyone is expecting, if you instigate with the other side, well, the one that doesn't like them will be more likely to speak to you. If you're like Thor, you look average, and Ares hears it, you run so you don't die. But then, Ares might be like, Thor does look average. Hi, I'm
Below average.
Ares, god of, what is Ares god of?
War.
That. God of. God of War.
Yeah, I just when you describe the gods that we're talking to in Thor and
no,
like
you're right.
thunder, like
I
really bad ones to piss
Word.
off,
We're inside.
I don't exactly think I want to antagonize either party because, once again, I am made out of wood. I will explode so bad if one of them were to hit me.
Wood isn't conductive to electricity.
Also, don't. just-
Never mind.
True.
You can't just confront them, right? They're not all powerful, but they are powerful. So you don't.
Yeah.
You don't go head on.
Right.
Go around.
That's why
You gather
the note
information.
idea
You find
seemed
out
like
what
such
is
a good one.
happening.
Just leave a note. Just have someone work for it. Maybe one of you just brings the information to them, and I'll stand
What,
a solid 400
What
feet back or so.
information are you going to leave? I still don't know.
I
still
don't know what
what
is happening. Been stranded in Ethela 20 years. Oops,
Oh.
getting back on it. Talk to you soon.
What if you just don't give an update now and you just wait until you have actionable information? Why would you why would you say, don't know what's happening now? I've not been doing the job you've given me.
So, to be
I'm
clear,
not.
because I kind of said it while I was just listing out what I would say, I have been sort of off the grid for
Yes.
20 years. I don't know if you know how the planes actually work, but unless there's a portal to travel from one plane to another, you are trapped there. I was trapped.
What about this? Can you not just pretend you're still stuck there? Just keep a low profile.
Gods
Melt
have a
into the
wild
shadows.
way of finding you when you don't want them to
Do
find
they?
you.
As you say that,
I
Yeah.
don't.
And showing
and lightning.
up suddenly.
You can hear kind of like outside, the rain starts coming down,
As you
tickling against the windows, and you can hear lightning has arrived.
as I hear the lightning, you can see for a quick second a flash of blue in my hand, and then it's gone.
We did not do anything hasty, okay?
Did you marry Thor?
The fuck?
I think
No.
you said you were married and you're not excited to see. Well, I'm assuming.
Actually, that would no.
People start getting up
did
from their
not.
tables.
And I
they
just
start
kind of
heading out.
shove my
Hey.
chair back.
Hey,
Suspicious.
Joe, as just as a precaution, Willoughby is going to walk up. Are there any like buckets on the ground or anything like that? He wants to just cover his head, like his face, with whatever his face is, his helmet, with something to try to be a little bit less immediately recognizable in a crowd, just to be safe.
Sure, you can find a bucket.
Ruin the immersion,
Yeah, you can
but
find
I
a
love
bucket.
that you said a bucket.
Can I?
You can't escape a bucket, Tomato. You just can't.
Okay.
What do you
Just
say,
to be
Mark?
safe, I'm just gonna.
No, you know what? I was like, I could help with it. I'm like, nope, it's funnier to leave the bucket. It's funnier.
It's
Yeah.
funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bucket. You find one. Are you gonna put holes in it, or are you just gonna walk with the bucket over your head?
He'll put holes in it. He'll put
Okay.
little eye holes.
Sure, yeah.
Little drill.
Well, the perfect
Like
little eye hole.
as we're walking, he'll just like try to cut little holes in it with a knife, and then
Okay.
put it over his helmet like a really crude mask.
It's amazing.
So, as you're heading
Right
towards
to
the
the
main
king's
hall,
hole.
yeah, you can see everyone start to move ahead of you. Do you all follow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You start heading your way towards the King's Hall. Hrothgar, as you kind of enter in, you can see the main doors to the hall are being kind of like just jam-packed full of people, and then people pushing past and moving around. But leaving a large gap enough for Thor and Ares when they arrive to walk through and get to the ale. Hrothgar's on his chair, ready to clear his throat. Everyone waits there. The rain outside is trickling down heavy. You can hear it against the wood above you, on the rafters, on the ceiling, on the roof. You hear the thunder crackling in the distance. Then the thunder stops, and all you hear is the rain. A few minutes pass, most people whispering, but silence now kind of overtaking the hall. A door at the far end opens, swinging open. Rain starts trickling in. As a god is about to arrive, we're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute break so everyone can use the loo, get a drink, whatnot, and we'll be back in just 5 minutes just to give you a chance to use the loo.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, be right back, everyone.
BRB.
Sorry about that, chat. My niece woke up, so I was just bringing it back in. All right, let me bring things back up.
Should only need one more
Hello.
level, and then I can
Title.
help in fights. But right now, pretty poop.
Hello.
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 Sorry about that.
Hey.
My niece woke up and she was like
Oh
crying.
no.
So I was
Oh,
like, only a
Babby.
3-year-old. Okay. Hello. All right.
Okay.
Let me bring us
Blech.
back into things. So. Let's do this one. All right. Are we all ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
To bring it back into things, you've just seen as the door burst open at the end of the hall. It's kind of a doorway that leads outside. Smaller than the main doorway that you'd come into the main halls with, but large enough that a couple of people could fit side by side walking through it. Rain is pouring through as the wind outside is gusting, kind of pushing against the shutters on the kind of windows outside are pounding against the walls. The rain was pouring at the bottom. Before you just see an image, a kind of a figure, thrown into the hall, just landing. A crumpled mess of flesh, blood, and metal. Specifically bronze, crumpled together into a ball. It's a bleeding human, crushed and dead. And stepping into the hallway, about 6.5 feet tall. Broad, huge muscles across her arms and her legs. Leather across her. She's got this big white wolf head, flowing fur down her side. Braided blonde hair with runes augmented on little pieces of metal all the way through it. A strong jawline as she steps in. The water rushing down her hair. Some strands flicking down. She looks down at the body. And across everyone. On her back, against a harness, is a 2-handed hammer. With a huge head that almost feels like it'd be way too heavy for any person to carry around. She looks across the hall as everyone's kind of staring confused. Hrothgar goes to speak. She puts up a hand to silence him. Father couldn't make it. Sent me in his stead. Looks like the Mesogaians said the same thing. But instead of sending a demigod, they sent a mortal. That's what you can expect from them. Don't worry, I dealt with it. The same way any Mesogaian should be dealt with. Peace! Is that what is going on here? Very well. I killed this one outside of your hall, so I don't think it breaks your notion. Don't worry. She eyes the hole. No more of you beyond. Father said that you called for him. Well, my name is Thrud, daughter of Thor, daughter of thunder. I carry my father's voice, and with it his appetite. The ale? Mine, I assume. I don't think he'll be drinking any. And she looks down at the body. And mine to share with my lover. You see a meeker kind of slender man step in. Dark hair. Stubble on the bottom here, but with a mustache just kind of longer. And a dry smirk that comes up to... You can see this man smirks a lot, as he has kind of almost laugh lines, but kind of built into his grin. Very sharp, almost snake-like eyes. A man who kind of takes care of himself. You can see his eyebrows are trimmed well, his hair is delicate and well cleaned. He wears kind of black clothing, leathers and furs mixed in as well. Gifted to him, clearly. Doesn't carry a weapon. He steps in beside. And she looks across at the entire hall. You treat him with the same respect you treat me. This is Bruldar. So, you're going to say something, King? See the king who's pale and taken aback. Of course. Welcome, daughter of Thor, to our great hall. Please, drink from our drink. I don't want to hear it. Enjoy your nights of peace. I come with tidings. In the months to come, this war shall get stronger, broader. More of you are expected to fight. Look to the Mesogaians around the hall. Eye them well. This might be the final times they get to do anything cheerful. Father has plans for that world. And to you Mesogaians, enjoy our mead. Enjoy our halls. But don't enjoy them long. Now back to your parties. And she kind of bows mockingly, leaving everyone to kind of talk among themselves. Some people start kind of laughing and cheering to themselves, but there's a kind of heavy disappointment in not seeing gods. She walks immediately over towards the big tankard, brings her hand in, and drinks back from it. You see the kind of sleek man walking behind her, Brulder, looking around, smirking. He bows and walks over towards her. She kind of just lifts him up onto the stair next to him, cups her hand and lets him drink from it. The rest of the hall don't really know what to do. Othgar sits down on his chair. The prophet is asleep in his chair next to him. You can tell this by his head just kind of lolling into his chest. Not watching. Hrethik steps up. Welcome, Thrud, of course. But as she said, it is a time of peace for now. Yeah. Enjoy your drinks. Enjoy the party. The festival goes on. We did not need a god today. Thank you for blessing us with your atmosphere here. Thrud, son of Thor. Thank you for coming. People start kind of leaving and heading towards the different halls. Some people just kind of move into themselves. A couple move over towards her and she ignores them. You're stood in the crowd.
Did Thrud leave the body of the mortal that she killed?
Yes, she did.
I want that.
Okay.
That wasn't
I
clear.
want that.
I would like to
want that.
investigate that. But
Absolutely. Go for it. Absolutely.
and I'm searching for a note or something of that sort.
Okay. Yeah. Roll an investigation check.
You got it.
Let's give you some more information.
Yeah, I want that. A little bit too much Draven came out.
I want that.
That's an 8.
8 would have you kind of... You're struggling to find any insignia on him.
Mm-hmm.
But you do find... it's a human man. You do find a scroll. Because it's not very well hidden. It's kind of located on his kind of his belt. Yes.
I'll take that.
The scroll itself is worded. It says... it's kind of done in a Mesogaian kind of ink. Almost jotted down pretty hastily. It says, with regret... I must put war first. Allow Brainos to entertain in my absence. Ares. Simple, sweet, straight to the point. Most of the papers, parchment's not even kind of drawn on.
Yeah. All right. I'll pocket that, walk back to the group, mention the note and its words inside. Yeah, contents. Thank you. That seems like a problem.
Well, I don't need this. He's gonna take the bucket back up and put it back on the ground.
I've got a little coin that I took out of my pocket. I'm just kind of like flipping it through my fingers. Useless. Also, wait. He had to put war first, but he was coming here for peace.
I assumed he didn't have faith in it. And I would hate to make him right.
The god of war can only ever know war.
How could a god of war ever come for peace talks? It doesn't make sense.
Exactly, my dear, exactly.
None of them make sense.
I agree.
Stupid.
Juno does not take her eyes off Thrud this whole time. Like, it just is just watching from the group, just watching this.
Almost
It's
like
a very different situation.
almost like an animal at a watering spot. She's not taken her eyes off the ale and has not stopped just scooping it up. And it's probably every 10th scoop she allows the lover she brought with her to drink from her hand, but continues to drink herself. He's kind of just glancing around the room. He rests his eyes over towards your group and kind of smirks. He whispers something to her and turns and walks over towards you. He sees your group kind of standing together. He puts his arms behind his back and looks at behind his back and looks across you. Are you insulting them? I assume that's what you're doing if you're standing with... His eyes look towards you, Juno. Clearly a missile guy.
I've heard the term is flighting.
And what did you know of flighting?
Not much. Could you teach me?
Very well. You start with a boast. The other person insults you back? Usually rhyming. And then boasts themselves. The other rhymes to insult that. Those around you judge the performance. But as I hear it, Mesogaians aren't very good with their words. Not very good with their swords either.
We are words. We are very skilled at, but childish playground games perhaps not. But we do well with words in debate and in thought. We like to think in Mesogaia.
Childish games, of course. Of course, it's okay if you're too scared to be insulted in front of all of your peers.
Are you good at it?
I've been known to dabble.
So you're not good if you just dabble.
I smile.
Better than any Mesogaian.
Ah. Let's make a show of
Let me
it.
see.
Very well. I'll boast first.
Please.
So you start to gather a bit of a crowd. I'm smart. I am tall. I'm even beloved by the daughter of Thor. He smiles and looks at you.
And yet somehow she didn't go for more, while I stand here in armor of gleam.
Yet you'd be nothing without your insufficient team. I need not the daughter of a god, for I can best any of your world.
The words you say, they have unfurled, but to a Mesogaian, you're more like a squirrel.
Big is the crowd now?
As every line comes by, people are kind of gathering more and more. Can you roll a performance check for me, Draven, just to see if Thrud notices?
18.
In the background, you'd see wipes their mouth, steps around, and folds their arms behind, leaning against the tankard. You call yourself civilized, but all you look is feral. Whereas I am sophisticated, civilized, and better. People kind of murmur a little bit.
It's a shame it was raining, because instead you just look wetter. While I shine and gleam, and you... Well, there's no sheen.
Well, if it wasn't for your insignificant team, and you hear someone, who's that one?
Just lean back.
You have among you, your group, the smartest among you is a tree. You hear kind of murmuring, my sword begs to drive into your heart.
You know, it's a shame because before you've already repeated that part. And the tree may be the smartest, that is true. But if the tree's the smartest, what does that say about you?
You know that I am the lover of Thrud. I should have your... He reaches for his sword and you just see her hand lean over and just grab her shoulder. He bested you. It is fine.
And I learned, because there's the only way I could succeed is if I had such a good teacher, and a whole as such. Thank you. What was your name again? Partner of Thrud.
And Bruder.
Bruder. Thank you for the lesson, Bruder.
I'll be glad to teach you another. She kind of just gestures him away and he kind of walks staring at you. She looks down at you. Huh. Entertaining. Not bad. Sometimes insults from fighting are sharper than a sword and last longer the wound.
Mm.
I must warn you if anything happens to him this night. Anything. She looks across the crowd. My father, I inherited from him one major thing. His temper. Now I'm going to finish my ale. And when I wake, he best be in one piece. She eyes you, Draven, and walks back.
That is necessary. How else would I gain more lessons? Cheers.
Cheers. She goes back up to her stairs and continues drinking. Barely paying
I
attention
wonder what her blood tastes like. That's out loud.
What?
Just kind of. Can you imagine just being a pet?
No.
Not dependent.
There are many who would stand at the side of powerful men and women in order to catch the mere drops that fall from their cup. There are many who would do so. But none who would stand in the testaments of history.
No.
I find this game that they played, this flighting, it is just wordplay and boasts, very uncivilized.
It is, but they can't hurt you during it. But oh, you can hurt their soul. Plus, my hope is, I hope to see him outside of here so I can stab his soul and then his soul.
Maybe not.
Not tonight.
Much.
No. There's no violence in the hall. Although isn't tonight the night that everything is expected to burn to ash?
And
I
you
don't
know,
if it
on
was
that
today.
note, this god is definitely not the one I want to exchange my information with. So it really
Yeah.
has been a pleasure. And Willoughby's going to start like packing up some of his stuff, but I have to go actually report my work. So
How are you going to find one? Do you know where else to go?
well, I could probably just find a portal back to Yggdrasil and go from there.
Oh, that makes sense.
But I'd rather not be here if it's going to be, if there's any chance of it being a crater in the next couple hours.
There is a chance of any place becoming a crater at any time.
Destroyed at any moment.
True, but usually not backed up with a prophet or oracle of any kind.
Why did Ares choose to send Immortal here?
And again, say, oh.
He must
sorry,
have.
I have a war.
would-
Oh, obviously, you have a war. That's your whole deal.
But Ares, if Ares thought that Thor was going to be here, to send a mortal is a very strange decision.
I suppose as an insult to waste Thor's time,
Perhaps, I think
they-
so.
stand him up.
Look at the body. I only found this, but the smell was distracting.
At that note, Willoughby's going to go over and take a look for himself at the body.
Sure. Do an investigation check.
14.
14 would have you find an insignia in its pocket, kind of like pinned underneath its cloak. He has a shield with a sword kind of imprinted over it. It's like an insignia of like almost like a kind of a short blade that's pushed over the shield itself and comes out of it like a slight bump. It's made of bronze as well, the circular shield, and the shield has almost a symbol like a wishbone.
Do I recognize this symbol at all?
Give me a history check. Technically, you've been around a while.
5.
Mesogaians and their insignias. There's a lot of them.
But I know it's Mesogaian. So I'll
Yeah.
bring it back over to the group. Does this insignia mean anything to...
Oh yes, it means I poison trees for fun.
Oh, shit.
You think that guy
Laugh.
did it?
Looks
Because-
like it.
That is some good news if it's the case.
I just laugh.
14 on a history.
And the DC would have been set as 1 for you because this is the symbol of Kanos. The kind of the oldest rival of Athra. A warrior nation. The equivalent
Gotcha.
of Sparta in this world.
Yeah. Ah, yes, I know that symbol well. Sorry, please.
No, what is it? You know it?
Yes, that is the symbol of how best to describe it. The city that I am from, Athra. Well, not even the city, but the nation, if you want to think of it that way. We have a long-standing rival with a warrior nation, Kanos. Very proud, very skilled warriors. Many of them pay tribute to Ares. Who I believe is their patron deity. I look to this guy. Yes, he's the patron deity
sky flashes.
of Ganos. They clearly must have come from the city.
Okay.
One of Ares' faithful, I imagine.
A fool.
A
To
faithful.
serve the gods in Mesogaia it is a very honored tradition. Many people would be honored to represent the god of war in such a thing.
And die for nothing.
So much of what the gods ask leads to such things, doesn't it?
I don't think they intended to die.
I just cannot wrap my head around it. Why send a mortar when you think that Thor will be here? Unless he knew that Thor would not. Some mysteries are sadly a little still
This is a
beyond
weird-
my understanding.
This is a weird question. Can whatever. Can I smell the body to see if it smells normal?
Okay, yeah.
What'd you
ahead.
like for that?
Really good question. Perception check, I think, but with
Okay.
smell.
23.
Dude.
You can smell the magic upon it, like a magical imprint. Like it's one thing you can probably ascertain is that to get here it takes weeks on a ship, and the very perfumes and smells of your homeland and your world, they'd be gone by the time you get here. Even if you brought them with you, just the kind of general smell of it. This one kind of oozes with this kind of vibrant magic. Your nose would tingle just being around it. As if it had just exited a portal.
So there's a sense of portal magic from this figure. Nothing else really comes through, but that was how they got here.
A recent portal
Yes.
from Mesogaia to here. That's not normal.
Isn't that
It's dangerous, I believe. Can cause all sorts of problems. Mr. DM, how is Thrud still drinking? Is she gone back to the tankard and is drinking away, or is...
By this point, a lot of the hall's kind of slipped out. You would see, like, Threthic has, like, taken his father, and they've kind of slipped away from the hall. You can tell the old man's getting kind of quiet and tired. The prophet's asleep in his chair. Thrud is still kind of leaning over, and you see she kind of went to her tankard, finishing off the bottom of it. And just as you kind of look over, she slumps back and sits into her chair. Pats her gut, kind of proud of herself for going through the entire thing.
This is like a giant tankard, right? This is like an enormous, like 6 feet. So she's just drunk like a huge amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's her, brother?
She just sits back, starts picking at meat. You'd see Bruder is kind of sat on a chair opposite her on the opposite side of the spit. And then sipping at his ale, just stirring it around in a mug, watching you occasionally, looking at everyone kind of leaving the hall. And then stands up, walks around, sits on her knee, and just starts whispering to her, talking to her.
I'm going to say a passing prayer for the lost soul who I hope that their soul finds its way back to its native home rather than being stuck in a foreign place.
Lena,
Well,
Yes.
how do you feel?
It's not worth it now. It is pointless.
No, but it's an interesting parallel.
Something is going on. And you're right. I want to know why he didn't come. I want to know why Eris didn't come. And now I guess I want to know who poisoned the world tree, because maybe it isn't what everyone thinks. Looks at Willoughby.
Your guess is as good as mine.
I think everyone has the same guess. That is what is... How, when you were... what was your job? I don't... Is part of the world tree? Like, what did you...
Well, prior to its poisoning, my job was to protect the world tree. Just wasn't very good at that, nor
Just
very
you?
interested in it, to be
Just
frank.
only-
I didn't poison it, don't worry.
But you were the only one, just you, guarding?
No, there were plenty of others.
Are they all investigating as well?
Some of them maybe. I don't know. I'm one of the older Kvistir in the grand scheme. There's a lot of new models that come out now that you've probably seen
The
them.
broader ones.
They're a little bit larger. They're a little bit more built
Yes.
for fighting. I came directly from the world tree, like sort of a grim, fucked up prank from the tree itself. Whereas they
Sounds
were
right.
created by... Joe, you can correct me if I'm... They were created by, like, people, right? They were made...
Sparta of dwarfs, yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
they built them together.
So-
So, I don't know how to ask this. So, who is your boss? Is your boss the world tree? Is your boss the
My
Gods?
boss is definitely the world tree. They've made that crystal clear to me many times, despite the fact that I cannot talk to them. They've made it clear. But,
How do you,
how?
no, how do you know? So the world tree is poisoned, right?
Yes.
And everyone loses it. And
Yes.
they come to you and they say, Willoughby, find out who did this.
Well, it normally would have been kind of a team effort, and to an extent it still is, but unfortunately I was on shift in the area that was poisoned, and I was kind of skipping out on work that day, as I had been every day for the last 400 years prior. So I was kind of just a scapegoat
Sure.
thrown under the bus kind of deal.
Reading a book during your shift or
Oh, we don't get books.
playing what?
I was kind of just staring anywhere else.
Paper made from plants. Yeah.
Oh shit, sorry.
Well, it's not that. It's just you're not really the creature of the tree aren't really. They're not very fun, if you know what I mean. We don't get a lot of things.
Are you
at the
quite
tree.
different to the rest of the Kvister, you call them? Are you quite
Yes,
different
a
to
lot
them?
of them. Think about the most just bummer sort of clerical or like.
I know the
They're
type.
not cool.
They're not cool. They're kind of the worst. They all live
Then
a
it's
life.
good you
of-
left.
You
yes.
wanted to be elsewhere. You didn't want to be stuck guarding a tree, standing around.
Yes.
Did you want to travel? Did you want to do things?
Traveling being anywhere but there would have been good. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to leave unless a situation like this arises. And I mean that as in literally I was not capable of leaving. If I attempted to leave, a portal leaving the tree would simply distribute me back at the tree. So sort of like a prison of sorts, if you view it that way.
Yes, I
So-
can see that. Well, but now through these investigations, you get to wander. Yes, you get to see things and go to places in your pursuit of this investigation.
Oh yes, the last 24 years or so have been lovely.
Oh, they didn't
Aside
find
from
you that whole
the
time,
threat
so
of
you're okay.
being killed.
No, I
again.
think
Well, you know,
they,
the world's a dangerous place.
they probably lost interest. It was a prank. They forgot about it. If they remember, they think this idiot for been looking this whole time. Just they don't care.
You
They
know,
don't care about the same
normally-
things we do. They don't see things the same way we do.
I'd love to agree with you if I hadn't had enough. If my encounter with them at that moment when I really screwed it up kind of wasn't such a just visceral experience in my mind where I am confident I would really rather not take that chance again. Better safe than sorry. I'm going to keep working on the whole investigation for now.
Well, it seems to be getting. Is it? I'm assuming it's
Yeah.
getting quite late now. Yeah.
It's you'd see that the whole by this point, the only ones really remaining in here right now is like a guard in one corner, the prophet, Brulder, and Thrud, and then you. You all kind of sat over on your
What,
table.
Well,
I
you
do
could always
what?
interrogate Truder. She,
Yeah, after
She could certainly still
after
kill
she
you,
showed what she
but-
could do, I definitely want to go up and
What
ask her a bunch of questions about the poisoning of the tree. That seems like I looked over at the crumpled corpse at the door. A really good idea.
You see her
oh,
push
she's
up.
not Thor.
She pushes up from her chair. I'll be waiting in our room.
Oh,
Try not to get yourself in trouble. She looks across to your group. A hair on his head. And you see her kind of stumble slightly because the alcohol's fully kicked in. She drank copious amounts. She pushes her way out of the door, leaving Baldr to kind of sit there smiling and smirking towards you as a group.
If the prophet is to be correct, I would say that Broder is the one we should be concerned about. His injury would give cause for Thrud to demolish the whole.
I don't think we need her attention on us. At least not for what.
No.
At least I
My
don't.
concern is that someone else will do something
Yes.
to him.
So now we are his
It's just
protectors now. We will take care of
at least
him.
till tomorrow. It's just us, Bruder, and then the Prophet, right? There's nobody else here.
One guard, but the far end of the hall by the door. And who's kind of at this distance. You can kind of see they're in the point in the night where they're a little bit nodding off slightly, and they're not used to
But
this.
Draven also sensed that there was portal magic on that Ares warrior that was sent in.
Yes.
It's late. I'm gonna start. Juno doesn't know much about magic, but like I probably would. I think Juno would say, Draven, you said that you could smell the presence of teleportation, portal magic, yes?
Yes.
Is there a way to know if that is happening, or sensing that is about to open?
I'm not sure if there's a way to sense that, but I do have a cause of concern.
I worry that Ares may send others.
I would argue Ares probably already has. To use a portal for one
You
would
could
be
send
foolish.
many.
What is it you're all talking about over there? He steps up,
Would you
begins walking.
like an honest answer,
Brother,
brother?
join us, why don't you?
Why not?
Want a drink? Yes.
He kind of walks past you as a group, looks down at the Prophet, climbs up the stairs and sits on the throne and puts his legs up on the sides.
Just
I am
shake my
concerned for your well-being.
My well-being.
Yes.
I am dating the daughter of one of the strongest gods.
Who is not here?
Who is
And
asleep right now?
I am concerned for your well-being, because if you are injured, then I am concerned for my well-being. It's selfish, if that makes it make more sense.
It makes sense, but give you an idea. Let me tell you a story, shall I? You hear, when
Oh,
he says
Lord.
that, you hear downstairs like some kind of thumping.
I stand up and immediately
And then-
start walking over to where he's sitting.
Okay. He leans forward in his chair. When I was traveling through a little town named Frunga, I had a blacksmith twice my size. I went to him and I asked him to make me a dagger. He refused. I offered him a lot of gold. He refused. I said dagger. You hear more downstairs. Some kind of murmured voices. I said I'd like a dagger and I'll pay you 500 gold pieces. 500 gold bars. He refused. I said, why? Did not like Thor. So, I hit him. He did not hit me back. I hit him again. And again. And he did not hit me back. I hit him again and again and again. Not once did he not hit me back. But then, his son, a young lad, apprenticed to him, came out and pushed me. Just a push. And do you know what Thru did to him? He killed. She killed every single one of the people in that town, in that village. And then made that blacksmith make me a dagger. And then let me kill him with it. Thrud makes sure that you hear more clashing. He stops for a moment listening. You're shouting voices coming from outside the hall and downstairs. What the fuck is that? Thrud, what was I saying?
How
That's it.
tall is the? How
It's up
tall is
about-
like where he's sitting?
About 12 feet or so off the ground.
Okay,
Staircase
I'm gonna
up.
stay on the ground and start to kind of skirt it.
Thrud makes sure that I, like any good god, am untouchable. Just as he says that, you hear from behind.
What a dumb
He leans
motherfucker.
up. The fuck is going on? You suddenly hear the splinters pull off of the wall. Wood just starts flying in, caving inward. And a massive hand comes all the way through, bursting through, scratching against the splinters. You see blood trickling down this arm. A huge claw. It looks similar to the one hanging above. Before this hand grabs hold of the arm, you see a head burst through, a jaw made of mostly bone burst through, skin red. Its mouth opens and it pushes the arm down and swallows it whole. And pulls back out, the gap leaving there for a second. That was fucking close. And suddenly it bursts back. The chair splinters in two, and the hand grips hold of him and crushes him in the grip before pulling him outward, tearing him through the splinters on the opposite side, piercing his body, pulls back, and you hear the gargling sound as something starts munching on him. The prophet's eyes open. It returns. It returns. And suddenly, all around the room, splinters start breaking through the ground. These small red creatures, hair kind of pulled down to their backs, shields and long jagged blades burst through the ground, gnawing with their teeth, one larger mouth than the others. A bunch of these smaller creatures, goblin-sized in their nature, start crowding into the room, bursting through the walls and into the ground. And they look at your crowd, they look at your group, and then rush to attack. And that's where we'll end episode 1 with Grendel's return.
Grendel.
Oh,
And there we go.
You know
Thank
what?
you, everyone, for playing.
No one gave away classes, really.
I know. I forgot about that. Yeah, I realized that halfway through.
You got
I
Ranger.
got close.
Are you guys
Also, I
keeping
realized,
receipts?
so did I. I got close too, but I also realized no one said how old we were. Like when we introed our characters, nobody actually said.
Uh-huh.
We kind of, me and Brizzy kind of gave big hints because we
did.
gave like
Yeah,
how
I
old
was
we were.
2 years old
I was
20 years
1.
ago.
That's true. That's true.
I was about 20.
Okay.
There you go.
Are you keeping your class? I know some of you are giving it away. Are you keeping your classes hidden until it's revealed? In,
I might.
Or do you want to set?
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
I've given the gist of mine.
Draven is 200 plus age, just for a reference. he's a
Yeah. He's got that vampy
Got some
vibe.
experience.
yeah.
My guy's fucking ancient.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Samantha takes us all for the age thing. You know, I've been around since the dawn of time.
Remember when I was a man.
If you want to know how old
before-
Willoughby is, cut him in half and then look at the rings.
Yeah. Chop his arm
Draven's
off.
like, okay, hold on, I will.
I thought he'd been a tree for 420 years, but is it 424?
Nice.
Oh, yeah, I
Nice.
didn't think about that.
Yeah. Well, now it's 420.
You should see where he can grow on his arms. Ladankus.
Give him some tinfoil windows and he's good to go.
Dang. This is gonna get messy so fast.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
we got our first combat next
Oh,
week.
as soon as she said, like, if anything
Yeah.
happens to him, I'm like, he's fucking dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Like, he's
Any
gonna
good
get
fable ends with
killed.
that.
Yeah.
The shitty
Yeah.
boyfriend in the first act goes off in the
Do you like my creepy dog named Leonidas standing in the
the
doorway?
little tail wagging, like, hey,
Yeah.
Dad, what's going on? What are you doing over there?
Hold on, I'm gonna.
Creeper.
I think your character art is blocking him, so I'm gonna go ahead and just turn off your character for a
Oh,
second,
yeah.
so you can see the dog. This.
Beep, 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 beep.
He is just. He, you know what? I'm glad the character art
Waiting
is
for
blocking his
permission to
move.
come in. That's so
It's
cute.
No, he wants.
He wants
I
you
don't
to go
know.
out there.
Well, he wants something. I don't know what it is. I have
It's called
fed him,
Leonidas?
walked him. Yes, his name is Leonidas. I swear to you, it was a mistake. He is a bully
I
and he
regret
plays
it.
with weapons.
You did.
Oh, yeah, he
You were
did actually
literally
grab a
telling us
weapon.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you named it well.
he's so
great.
still.
Great mistake.
He's manifesting
Cool.
your presence into the world.
Man,
Thank
fuck
you,
Grendel. I don't
everyone,
wanna
for
deal with that.
playing.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Welcome to
Oh,
Mistletoe,
my God.
everybody.
Grendel, yeah.
I adore your characters. I cannot wait to explore the world with you properly. Welcome out, everyone who came to watch. Thank you so much for watching episode 1. You have all their socials. You can do !mistletoe and get all of their Twitches. I'll also make a command for all of their Twitter socials as well for next week as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And we'll see you next week for episode 2 of Mistletoe.
Woohoo.
Much love to you all.
You fight some
then.
stuff.
You get to find a new creature, what I'm calling a Grendling. So you get to see what they're like next week. They're very fun. They're fun. You're going to like them. The art is
You
great.
don't sound like that now.
Do you know what? Actually, before we finish then, I'll go ahead. I'll show you what these guys look like.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'll show you what these guys look like.
Treat.
I'll show you the arena. Hold on. Move you across here, and then I'll show you also.
Teaser.
Oh,
I thought I was excited.
Let me show you what a Gremlin looks like. A Gremlin
cool.
is
The broken throne. Oh.
No. What?
God.
Wait, how big is that?
so they're about the size of goblins. They're essentially
guys.
the equivalent to goblins in this world now. And
Yes.
That's sick.
half a dozen or so have just burst through the ground. So yeah, you'll get to fight some Gremlings next week. But until then,
I love him.
yeah, that's so good.
I don't want to fight him. He's cute.
I've also just got the first sketch back of the Grendoir, and it's so fun. But you'll see
that's a
that
good
as
thing
well.
for us
I'll
to
take a
know.
pass on that.
So
I
we
don't
have the
wanna see that.
Grendlings, and then you have artful Grendel, do you? Okay.
Who's
Maybe,
making
maybe.
little copies of Grendel? Oh, wait, this is just worse the more I think about it.
Yeah, let's not. You can't examine this too much, man. It's not pleasant.
No.
Well,
No. No.
we'll see you all next week. Thank you so much for coming by to episode 1. And go and give everyone here a follow. Go and watch all their socials. Go and watch all they do. Thank you so much, everyone. And we'll see you next week. Catch you then. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.